bound now.
How's it going, Gary?
Oh,
Whoops, sorry.
Oh, you were turning that down, brother.
Turn her down. As soon as I turned it on, so here's the music. Oh, my bad. We've only been doing this for 125 times. You think I know that? But,
Yeah. Got to go to the instructions again one more time.
Oh my goodness, man! I'm excited. I've had a busy few weeks that I could touch base on, but I'm excited for tonight.
It feels like we haven't talked for a long time, and that's kind of accurate. You've been busy being Bob the Builder.
Oh yeah,
right?
Me and Dad. Yeah, man. Real quick. So I think everybody that knows me knows Laura's in theater and everything, and so through high school, she did theater, and we also did a local thing here. It's called CYT. Well, you age out at 18, and so that was her deal. She went off to Disney, did her deal there for the intern program, came back, and she's been doing other things. Well, they got a new thing now that they started this summer, same type of group, CPT, but it's you can be older, if you're in your 20s or whatever, you can still do it. So them and the cast been knocking it out. I think it was like 43 in the program and hundreds of volunteers. And so I helped with the sets. I made the beds in my garage and some of the other things. And then we were just all week. There was 4 shows. There were like 2,000 people that showed up for these shows. It was crazy good, man. It was just a good time. And it's just cool to see this community, and you can see all these actors and actresses backstage. And it kind of reminded me, of course, I'm sitting in the corner, waiting. It reminds me of this is what it feels like for a race day. They're getting ready to go first round,
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I got a little butterfly going, but they knocked it out of the park, man. The kids from 5 years old all the way up to mid-20s or whatever it was. But they did Frozen, is what they did.
And that's a change of scenery from you, where you're usually working on something, you're maintaining the car, you're getting ready for the next race. This was a totally different scenario in your garage. You had sawdust all over the desk.
Yeah, I'm still playing
desk. You was doing woodworking stuff. It's a totally different deal. So that's cool. Totally something different, right?
Yeah. And, for us, just to be honest, this is her first show back from her surgery, from her treatments and everything. So there was a lot of people that know her story that were coming up saying, oh, this is awesome. And, to see her healthy and doing her thing and being in her element. And just to tap it off, the doctor, her radiation doctor, came to the opening night, and he was there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And
so how many shows did they do?
They did 4. So Thursday, Friday to Saturday. And so they knocked it out of the park.
And is she going to do some more?
Oh yeah. I can always see this coming back,
Oh yeah.
Definitely in her element. And
right.
So yeah, I know other even Mitch, his daughter's into theater and stuff, but it's just cool.
Well, you use that
support, right? You want to support, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and you was firing off some pictures to me where you was building the deals. I'm like, cool, that's different. I don't know shit about building stuff with wood, but you're killing it.
I was,
did a great job.
She gave me, she's like, can you read a blueprint? So I go, just give me a drawing, I can read a blueprint. She's like, okay. So they gave me these sheets, and in my garage, it's like, man, these beds are huge. I'm like, they're gonna fit, Holy cow! But they were on stage, they were perfect, perfect size, and got
you have to haul them in your truck. Is that how you got them there?
Yeah. And did the final assembly there. Because there was a little thing on one of the beds where the little girl was on, and it snowed and everything. They had that special effect going, and that they added while at the theater. And but yeah, no, it was cool, man. I'd do it again, if they said that. But it's a lot of work. It's hours. It's
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, one week when I made the beds, it was 3 hours a night, 4 nights.
Oh yeah. Dang.
This little apartment. Of course, it was a good timing too with racing too, because we had a little break and getting the car service and everything. And so it was, but yeah. So it finished last night. We didn't get home to almost 1:30.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
cool deal.
Yeah, man.
We got some people. Guess who was first before we even fired off the it was Doug.
Doug Perry. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Doug was in here at this. The time on this is 6:53. Hello, Doug.
Right on.
He was ready
On the YouTube side.
Man, on the YouTube, Doug.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
And here's the Goose. Hello from Goose. Howdy, Mr. Goose. We're gonna see him pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, we got 3 weeks roughly.
3 weeks from yesterday. Yeah, man. Jim Lauer. Jim is a regular. Jim and Doug are like the regular returners all the time.
Yeah, and Goose.
And the Goose. There's down the street from you. There's Laddie.
And Laddie. Hope your vacation was good. It was so cool. So everybody knows Laddie lives just a few houses down, and but we were at the same place on different days in another state. What we hear?
Yeah, that's right. In Florida. Yeah. He. So this like Friday was the end of week 2 for him on vacation. The week before that is what you're saying. We was in the same place. We was in Florida. He was on one side of Bradenton out on an island deal west. We was east side to TBM and stuff. Well, last week, which was his second week on vacation, he's got to burn some time because he's running out of time. So
yeah.
He's like in pre-retirement mode, but he's also got to burn that time off. Yeah. So he texted me, I forget what day it was, Wednesday, or he had a question about some welding gas at our shop. And I answered his question and I said, "What are you doing? Are you like on the beach sipping margaritas for breakfast?" And he said, "Nah," he said, "I'm on the deck at my house drinking coffee." So, so by like Wednesday, or I forget what day it was, Wednesday or so, he was back home. He was on the deck drinking coffee in the morning. So,
heck yeah.
Yeah. He hopefully he had a good 2 weeks off. He's got to burn that time. He's retiring in late October and he's young-ish and man, good for him. He's going to get out and enjoy the rest of his life.
Yep. Go catching some fish.
Go fishing. Yep. Maybe me and my son might need to go fishing with him.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So good job to Laddie. He's got like 3.5 months, maybe less than that. August, less than that. So this is July. We're halfway through July already. Jeez.
Year's half over.
So, yep. And I was telling my wife earlier today, I was like, yo, Laddie's got to get back to regular life tomorrow morning. Back to it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. There's Brian Wise. What's up, Brian? Evening, fellas, he says.
Yes, sir.
There's Doug again. What's up, guys? I don't even want to begin to try to pronounce your name. Heike J. Salmonin.
Yeah.
I did the best I could. Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, hi, sorry, joined a bit late. Now you're perfect. You're right on time. Yes, you are in good shape. There's Barry Peter. Hi, Barry. Hi, gents. He says, look at this, Jeff Gillis.
Yes.
Hey, Gary Rodney, good to see you. Hi, Jeff.
I've been talking to him today just because, we're going to run into some stories here with Mitch and,
sure.
How I remember things. I want to make sure they're halfway true, and he kind of confirmed a couple things. And,
surely between you and Mitch, that'll be 100% accurate.
Well, yeah, I remember too, this, Jeff Gillis back in the late, 80s, 90s,
he was the man.
He was the man in the car world. When you run out of racing all these cars, you got to start racing motorcycles,
Oh, that's good stuff. I can't wait to hear these stories, dude.
Yeah, this is great.
There's Shannon. Hi, guys. Hey, Shannon, hope you're feeling good. Hi, Casey. There's my curly-haired son. Oh, he's going to go driving with Tiffany tonight. Whoa.
Oh, good. That'll work.
Yeah. Yeah, like school starts, I think August 10th. It's on a Monday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're starting to go back. I'm talking about teachers and leaders and stuff next week or the week after.
Yeah. So what do we got? Like 3 weeks from tomorrow. Gee whiz. He'll be a junior. Man. Yep. His little Ford Ranger. Tiffany's been out doing some driving with him because he's going to drive it to school.
Good.
next month.
Do it.
So,
Let's do it.
Yep. Yep. Shannon, Alan Watts, what is up, buddies? Hello, Mr. Allen.
No kidding. I'm ready for him and AJ to get on the practice tree at Hot Summer Nights, man.
Winner chicken dinner. We got info on that in a little bit.
Woo!
Yeah, Laddie says the good life. Well,
he's earned it.
That's right. We'll take your word for it. Matt Sampetro, Mr. P1 says Mitch runs P1 fasteners in his bikes. We make lots of kits for him and Monster Race products.
Man,
let me tell you, Matt.
We'll get into that.
Yes, Mr. Matt. I had to go to Bennington, where I'm from, on Friday. I swung in to see Mark Brown at Advanced Engine on Friday, and he knew that you and I, Rodney, had been in there and got a tour from Matt.
Oh, cool.
And he's like, yep. And he goes, man, that's so cool. You know, Matt, but he goes, Matt, blah, 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 blah. He just loves Matt. And he loves P1 fasteners.
Oh,
he said, I need something. It goes right out the door and comes right to his place. And, he loves P1 and you too, Matt. He loves you too.
Yeah.
So that's cool. He's watching.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah. He saw where we was at.
Yeah, great tour. Recommend it to anybody.
Yep. There's our buddy Troy. Evening, fellas. Troy.
Man, I need to check up with him tomorrow, see how it went Friday night for him.
Yep. He was pretty quiet about it. Pretty quiet.
Yeah. We'll have to have a morning coffee break, you know.
There you go.
Weekend rundown.
That's right. Alan Watt says, Matt Sampetro, I want that tour, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt, Alan. Yeah, Alan, it's super cool. There's a ton of impressive machinery in there and some smart people running that equipment. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well worth your time. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same with that too. We saw those same simulators at the NASCAR museum. Remember that?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Employee engagement simulators they have upstairs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We was at Daytona after the tour and in the museum, whatever. And it's like, hey, it's like what
that's
Matt's
exactly
got.
what they were. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Matt's got them in his fingertips.
Troy says spinning wasn't winning.
Sorry
about that. Dang it. There's Mrs. Harper. Hi guys. And wasn't Mr. Harper's birthday yesterday? Right.
Happy birthday, boy.
Happy birthday to Harper. Happy birthday to you.
Nice.
Yep. And I commented on her deal about going to Mocan. I said you should make that his birthday present. Take him to Mocan so we can hang out. That's right.
You come win $1,000 on the practice tree.
That's right. There's Tony Phillips. He says, "What's up, fellas? I missed the last one. Oops.
Oh man, we were bragging about you last one too.
Man.
Setting the record there at Centerville and all that. Saw the pictures of you and Foster. That was good stuff.
Yep. That's all right, Tony. We'll let one slide. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're a busy fella.
You had representation from Goose.
Yep. That's right. There's Scott Linker. What up, boys? Hello, Scott. Scott, when are we going to see your badass car, dude?
He's probably coming to Hot Summer Nights.
Maybe. That'd be a good time to debut the brand new car.
Woo!
Man.
That sucker's nice.
Yes. So, man, like 3 weeks from yesterday and Friday is going to be Hot Summer Nights. It's creeping up real fast. Are you ready?
I am ready. I got the window back in. I got to put a panel in. I was talking to you offline about this little training leak I think I got fixed. I just need to warm it up, change oil, run the valves. I got a new set of plugs. You know, it's funny too, because, and you know this, Gary, but like I was the guy that put a set of plugs in around January. And then, you know, I got peer pressured into putting a set of plugs in around October just because I've already, you know, we went to 5 or 6 races. But
so your plug program used to be a set of plugs for your car for Christmas.
Exactly, you know, but I don't know, for no reason. I mean, not left or right, but like, you know, being with Show, being on the dyno and just talking about plugs and plug readings and just teaching us all that stuff, man. I got buckets of plugs with me, you know, that I got. So I put a fresh set of plugs in. I don't have to go get them. I already have them. And speaking of that, did you see that I jumped on Baron Racing's little $5, the little God, what did he call that little Saturday package? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. No.
So he had a package. Okay, only 5, right? And so you got the EFI spark plug tray like you already have. You got one of those.
Yep.
And you got a plug gap deal. You know, like I think you already have one of those too. I didn't.
Yep.
So I'm over there doing it old school. Plus you got like the little Cameron Johnson tool, you know, and then the little piece to go on the roll bar.
The Zeus tool.
The Zeus tool. So I can put that on my roll bar, even though we have them in our pockets. And then I got a hat and like the spark plug tray, you know, and it was this kit for like $399, only 5. And so I snagged one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I did. And he said I was the 3rd person. He meshed me on the side and everything. And it's now the tray is just standard aluminum. But while I was backstage during the theater deal, I was messaging Ring Neck saying, "Hey,
Charles,
we're going to coat this sucker black, you know,
coat it up."
Yeah,
good idea.
Yeah, so and of course he was at Automobilia. He was asking me if I was going to Automobilia, but
too hot.
But yeah, so that's coming, dude. I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, especially because you know the plug game that you know it's all good. So
like, gap them during the week and load them back in the box so they're ready to go.
And they're ready. Yeah. Well, you know how I was doing it too. I pull them out and put them on a piece of cardboard, you know, a piece of paper towel, and like numbered them for a show to come over, you know. And he's like, "That's all I got. Go, dude, I don't do plugs, you know. I mean, you know." so I stepped my plug game up, you know.
That's great,
man. But the car's running great, as you know. I'm excited for hot summer nights, man.
Me too. I'm excited to go do. We're not going racing. We're going winning.
Winning. Woo! And you see round Lockwood for last year today?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
One round at a time, man.
Right, man. That's right. Got me fired up. Come off the trailer soft Friday during the heat, and then we'll put something to it that afternoon or that evening. Then we'll go to the broil. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let me shut her down. I know you got some stuff to show.
I'm probably going to stop eating pretty soon because I'm going to eat I'm just going to stand at the table and be a fat bastard.
Well, you're coming off your week of gaining 4 pounds, you know, from.
Hey, dude, I saw numbers on the scale I hadn't seen for a while, and it's coming back. It's coming back down where it needs to be. So I was like, woo, because you can't just gain fat that quick.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this is just built up stuff that needs to just get out. So,
well, apparently, if you run over to Taco Bell right now, you can get some extra help.
That'll fix you for a while. It sounds like I don't want any part of that. I'll pass.
I saw that on Facebook. It's like, whoa, stay away from that.
Like if you have that, that's a terrible deal. But I'll pass.
Funny.
I'll pass.
Man, we better get rolling with some pictures.
Oh yeah, Scott. Yeah, Scott says
soon.
Yep, Scott says soon. Soon. Scott says with the car. Scott says just hooking up the vintage air for my boy Tony. Tony needs some air conditioning. All right.
Oh, okay.
Goose says you still got them black wheels on the back.
Oh yeah.
Rodney?
Oh yeah. You can see him in the background.
Yep, that's right. Barry Peters says, Gary, you will see Scott at the track with his car the week after we see yours on the track. That's right. Oh man, dude, I hadn't worked on it for probably 2 weeks. The week we was gone with the truck, obviously was a no-brainer, and this last week was I'm just trying to play catch up. I actually worked on my car yesterday a little bit, and
cool.
I finished bolting up the torque converter.
Okay.
At some point, I put 2 bolts and nuts on. Yeah. I didn't tighten them because I wait till I get them all in, and then I come back and tighten them all.
Right.
Well, I seen some nuts and bolts on the floor. I'm like, what is that? I went down and looked like, I need to finish putting the torque converter bolts in.
Man.
So, man, I've been bolting up the torque converter. I'm working on my oil tank. I had to put a fitting in the oil tank for the temperature gauge and the Moroso temp heater. And so I've been doing some welding on it, some fittings on it. And and been working on my oil tank. God, there's just so many things to do. Golly.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's not just a take out the big block, put in the small block. This was like a project from front to back, and man, I almost lose track of where I'm at, but I'll try. I'm going to try real hard. David Hideka, man, I'm going to kill your last name. Hideka says, Mitch is kind of my neighbor, one town away, known him many years. He gifted one of his billet shift forks for my KZ. All around great guy.
Oh, great
That's
story.
cool, man. Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Don't go nowhere, David. We're gonna drag Mitch in here in just a little bit. We're just getting warmed up. We're working on our la 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 la. Right?
Because they were actually doing that in the theater. All of a sudden they're watching, you know.
That's what we do for the first 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
La 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 la. Yeah. Oh, we're just having fun.
What Al say? Oh, they get on there and talk about nothing, you know.
Yeah.
But we're getting people coming in, and that's what it's for. And we also, you know, thank our sponsors and throw a couple pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. There was kind of a slow week on the racing side and stuff, but we'll get into a couple things. And speaking of our Spartners, is that a word? It's our Spartners, our sponsor, partner, Spartners. Let's give them a shout. Let's give a huge shout out to these partners. Titans of 10.5, the fastest small tire series in the Midwest. CMB Chucks Metal Buildings and Construction. Harry Street Carpet. Ozark Raceway. Mobile Recon Mobile Detailing. Ultra Color Collision Repair. TNS Race Cars. And Sandlin Iron and Metal Auto Salvage. Thank you a tremendous amount.
Tremendous.
Great partners with us in our little podcast and racing with us in 2026. Thanks so much.
Oh,
boom.
Boom. Good job, Gary. Lock it in.
Yes. Thanks to them awesome partners.
Lock it in.
So we don't have very much on the front side of this. It's a pretty quiet racing week. It's just hot. It's July. The heat stinks. And let's roll right into it. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I don't remember what's first right here. I'm just going to click on it.
Okay.
Ozark had their nostalgia deal this past weekend, right? This weekend right here.
That's right.
And so Mitch sent us so many awesome pictures. We only have so much space. And photography by Chesney, she posted this. We also got pictures from Melissa. I couldn't grab all the pictures because there just isn't room. So photography by Chesney, she posted this, and it has the winners, and we're going to run with this. And I can't do the pictures because I just don't know what would hold up. And Mitch was sending us more stuff too, and I was hoping one by one they would still fit in.
Yeah.
And we got it all. So she says, congratulations to the winners of today's first annual Nostalgia Drags at Ozark Raceway Park. I don't have an ORP logo to use on my photos, so I will post them to the race album once I have one in photo order. So the classes and the winners are Open Gas, Justin Barker, Super Mod, Roger Kirk, Super Stock, Carl Igley, Gasser, Darwin McCollum, True Nostalgia Super Stock, Race Winner and Gamblers Race Winner, names not known. All right. 650 Index, Alan Watts, 580 Index, Gary Watts. And I think the pictures I saw from Melissa was the same car, was Alan's car. Did you see that?
Oh, they hot lap it?
It looked like it in the pictures.
Okay.
So it looked like each of them was running the car in a different class. So congrats to the Watts guys, man. Alan and Gary, man, awesome. Midwest. That's great.
Yeah.
Midwest Front Engine Fanatics winner, Steve Irvin. Midwest Front Engine Fanatics runner-up, Mike Whelan.
Nice.
Congrats to you guys.
Heck yeah, man. A lot of good classes there. Looks like there's about 10 classes.
Yeah.
A lot of good cars there. And I did see some photos over the weekend of and some videos. Of course, they had the casket there and other nostalgic things.
That was Eddie Munster, right?
Yeah. That was good stuff, man. Well, hopefully it's good turnout and sold a lot of hamburgers, and let's do it.
Yep. hopefully everybody was had a great time and they want to come back next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first annual. That's pretty cool.
We saw this was was Mark giving Donkey the ride?
Well, what was going on is he shopped a picture, and he's like he said he's going to get old girl here ready for the nostalgia race. And lo and behold, on another page, I think it was Andrix, had this shot of Donkey in the car with him. So he was ready to go rolling.
Donkey says, "Let's go, man.
Let's go.
Let's go nostalgia racing. Come on.
Let's go."
That's funny.
See where this thing at.
I don't care if it's not
horsepower. You got donkey power.
Got the donkey power. It reminds me of that Donkey and Shrek, them guys.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Donkey.
That's right.
It's Eddie Murphy does his voice. Go on, Donkey.
Oh, yeah. That's Mark's mascot for sure.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Next. Okay, so we knew about this a while back.
Okay.
But Mark had to wait to get it all finalized and in stone.
Yeah. So hold on. Back up.
Back up. There.
So I am mowing my grass. Okay.
Yes.
And when I was mowing my grass, I listened to Sean and Phantom and stuff, and I listened to us and just whoever's up there, Heichel and other guys. I'll grab a YouTube. And I'm mowing my grass, and Murder Nova announces on his podcast that they're coming to Ozark for Outlaw Syndicate. And I'm just like, he said, yeah, on Halloween, we're adding a date. It's all but done.
Does Mark know that?
And so I come in from mowing my grass and I screenshot it and I give him like, hey, at 35:09, like go to this. And right away, like he replied back, he goes, yeah, done deal. It's happening.
Cool.
And I'm like, okay. So he already knew. Now, even I can't remember what race it was, but we talked about when Mark came on, but he couldn't say anything yet. And so it's official. Let's roll. What do you got?
Yep. Just to remind you, he came on before the race that you won.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in June, right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last race you won. Yep.
Shane.
It's all good. The Shane McClellan Memorial. Yeah, you won that race. In case you forgot.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We're gonna win another one real soon.
That's right. I need Mopan bucket list.
So here it is. This was from Fireball Camaro page. Outlaw STS Small Tire Series schedule update. We've added another event to the lineup, and this will be the 2026 season finale. Ozark Raceway Park, October 30th and 31st in Rogersville, Missouri. As always, tickets will be available on the whatever I cut off.
The float.
On the boat. Whatever it is, I cut it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, this is a huge deal. First, like if you've been following Outlaw Syndicate at all, they've been traveling the country, North Carolina, US 31, all this stuff. And for them to, I know they had 2 in their pocket they were going to try to do that for this finale. They're actually adding a finale, an extra race. And somebody backed out and we got to go over here now. Who can we find? Like they're adding this. And for them to choose Rogersville, man, that's big
awesome.
time. That is big time.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it just shows what's going on over there. And it's going to be some good stuff. And I've been on the side talking to Mr. Goose there, and this is right up that little alley. It's the same type of deal. It's not a prep race, but it's not like let's scrape all the glue off either. Is what they do. They race what it is, what the track is. That's what they race.
Huh.
Now some cars, I've seen like the Fireball and others. Scott Taylor's been tearing it up in this class. It's 20,000 to win. It's 20,000 to win.
Holy cow!
Yeah. And Scott's been tearing it up, but man, these anybody who wants to put some slicks on or get down, however they want to get down.
Oh man.
Yeah. This is going to be a good event.
We're going to be in Texas that weekend, right? That's 30th.
Yeah.
That's Halloween weekend. Yeah.
We might have to flip a coin, but
okay.
You know what I mean? Look at Alan Watts.
Yeah, Alan Watts says my old lady gets to see her boyfriend Ryan Martin. I'm coming for some 6-0 blood. There you go.
Yeah, it does. Well, and like Phantom, Murder Nova, they you can see the 55 on the page. He races the 530 class, little gangster. They have 4 or 5 cars there, just getting it done. I think Carson's the other guy in this. There's 3 of them. It's Sean and Ryan, and I think his name's Carson that kind of puts this together, and they've been killing it, man.
Is this Outlaw Syndicate Small Tire Series? Is it a points deal? Is it a championship with points? Or
it is. Oh my goodness!
Okay. I'm so glad I know no idea.
I'm so glad you asked this. The winner of this deal gets a side-by-side Razor.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
I had no idea. Hey, Carson, you think I can win that?
I don't. Looks like Scott Taylor's going to win. He's got all the points.
I want a truck. I can win this.
But no, you have to go and race to win.
Oh, I haven't raced for years.
But you get an extra 20 for the win the championship.
Wow. Holy cow.
And then you get the side by side. Oh, you get man, dude, it was like a $50,000 package. I just don't remember everything.
They said. Man.
They were running that list off because the 3 of them got together when they kicked this series off, and it's just over the top fantastic. It really is.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Woo!
Because Carson, I think he owns a bunch of these motorsport outfits.
Okay.
And so
is that where the side-by-side comes from?
Yeah.
Oh.
And those things are like $30,000, those side-by-sides.
I got me a tasty beverage.
Well, hopefully you can hold your water tonight.
I won't.
With Mitch there. It's too bad. So
what's Scott saying? Scott says, "Don't look over my boy Scott Taylor.
He's rolling, dude.
Scott is the man."
And then they brought the Fireball on too. He's been running, and no, it should be good.
I think there's another post with this. Oh nope, never mind. I thought there was 2 posts with the Outlaw Syndicate. So the next one's something else.
But congratulations to Mark for landing this, because this is a big deal. And and we'll be pimping this out, and pumping it up as it gets closer.
Man, that's awesome.
Man, it'd be cool to bring Ryan or Sean on and talk about it. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's right. Both of them. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Phew. Cool. Well, mark your calendars if you're not going to Texas with us, or if we don't go to Texas. Halloween weekend.
Halloween weekend. What a race.
Dude, it's only 3 months
away. Dressed up, and they'll have the candy, and trailers, they'll dress the trailers up and whatnot.
Have you ever been into like dressing up for Halloween? I mean, not like obviously when you're a kid, you put the Flintstone mask on and shit, but like
right.
I've never like been into dressing up for Halloween. I just don't know what to do or how to do it. It's just never really dressed up like that.
No, we have the neighborhood too that I'll give 800 pieces of candy away. I mean, they just come in.
Oh, I'll give 8, maybe.
Yeah. No, they drop them off by the buses, and we usually have one of the garage doors open with some Halloween music or TV going on, and got Ginger as the mascot. She's all dressed up, and
hey, I was gonna say maybe I need to come to your house and hang out at Halloween, but I guess I'll be at your trailer on Halloween.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Man, I wish we could find an outfit for you to wear. I wonder if Troy's got anything that you could put on.
Does Buc-ee's have a blow up costume or something you can climb into? We need to check into that.
I don't know.
We'll be a Buc-ee Beaver.
Yeah.
I'll be a Buc-ee Beaver. We'll check into that.
Remember, Troy's got that banana suit or something, doesn't he?
Oh, that's right. The banana suit.
Yeah.
Don Irwin says, if my car is running, I'm going to call out Ryan Martin, 2nd round, Friday night. The last time he was at ORP in Small Tire, I beat him in eliminations. There you go.
Wow, what a story. That's awesome.
Man, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Troy says, I got a banana suit you can wear, Gary.
There he's on it.
Oh. Man. Doug Perry says, Mike Frank's Memorial Small Tire Race this weekend at US 36. This
cool.
coming weekend? Right on.
And right on. Good plug. Very good.
Yep, we've only got a couple. We've got a couple more things. Yep. This is from Hot Summer Nights Facebook page, and this is coming up real quick. Titans of 10-5 at Hot Summer Nights 17. 17 years. This is the 17th year. Holy moly. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your brother and your sister too. We've got some bonus money in the works for the racers with some of our great sponsors. Event shirt artwork is in progress. Stay locked in as more information will be rolling out these next few weeks.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Doug says Friday and Saturday this week.
Friday and Saturday, very cool.
So that's your next race is Hot Summer Nights, and it's a Hot Summer Nights Titans of 10-5 combo.
Be hot, and it's in the summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot. Titans of 10-5 comes in with their post and says, "All right, Titans of 10-5 Nation, you wanted a banger? Well, Titans of 10-5 at Hot Summer Nights 17. We just loaded the cannon with a double shot and 2 fuses Friday night at Hot Summer Nights. We're going to send it to the moon. $1,000 win practice tree shootout, along with a professional prepared crab boil, courtesy of the Bayou Bandit, Jake Mason, and the Blues Brothers, Justin Heckman, and the Barron Racing Team, Russell Foreman and family, Jason Tabitha Brown, Devin Brown, Chuck's Metal Buildings, Daniel Anders, Hot Wired Auto Sales, free burgers and dog cookout from Wendy Martin and the family, August 7th and 8th, Mocan Dragway. This is the event of the season. You don't want to miss out on this one. Al and I, this is Larry that had typed this. Al and I, along with Robert Beasley and the great team at Mocan Dragway, appreciate each and every one of you. Hot Summer Night 17 is going to be off the hook. Come see the action live and in person at Smokin' Mocan Dragway. Man, it's going to be a good time. Dang.
I'm excited.
That's gonna be great. And if you're in the gate before us, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You are right. And you know how
hey Joey, maybe Joey.
Oh, dark 30 on Friday will roll out. We know the key code. So
we know the super secret squirrel key code.
And so man, it's gonna be great. This right here pumped me up. And
me too. Oh yeah.
And same with the little I don't know if you have it, but the practice tree deal and all that. But holy cow!
Right there.
Yes. Oh, it pumped me up. I mean, and as soon as the sun goes down, it'll be back to tolerable.
Fast.
Yeah. I mean, the weather tolerable for us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. We went last year and we had the whole crank sensor trigger brake and kind of want to have a little better showing this time. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But this is awesome.
This practice tree shootout is a 400 pro tree, $1,000 payout, winner takes all. It's on Friday night after the second 10-5 test pass. $20 entry, free crab boil. That's where I'll be. Everyone is welcome. Free hamburgers and hot dogs. And I can't read the small stuff, but that's from the Martins in case you don't want the seafood crab boil. The Blues Brother Racing is putting this on, and sponsors helping out is Barron Raceway, Hot Wired Auto Sales, Foreman Mechanical, Everlast Construction. This says Chunk Metal Buildings. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say Chuck's Metal Buildings. A little typo on the AI, but that's all right. We know what it was supposed to say. We got it.
And this will be the second time we've had this, and it did not disappoint last time.
Oh, it's such a good time.
Such a good time.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait. And it's only 3 weeks away.
It is. So, getting the car ready and And then you've already got us locked in too at the casino, right?
Yep.
For rooms and whatnot. But Troy,
we don't have to sleep in the truck.
Troy better get on
it. Shannon Wise says, we are hoping to come down and hang out with you all if I'm feeling okay that weekend. Good deal.
That would be great.
You guys can drive your camper down and camp out and hang out. That'd be great.
Yep.
Hey, real quick. This has nothing to do with nothing. You see where they're about to take the step to make the daylight savings time standard? You see that?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you thought about that?
I have, and as much as I travel too, I can see where it affects different. I mean, when we were in Minnesota, dude, I got up at whatever time. It was already the sun was coming up at 5, and it didn't go down until 10 p.m.
Oh man,
right
wow!
And so
that's a little different situation.
Yeah, being in different parts of even the United States,
Yeah,
how things are, and it's just interesting. I don't know yet how I'm thinking about it still because, in the winter it's dark and dark. You go in, it's dark. You go home, it's dark, and
yeah.
and all that stuff. So it's just interesting.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like whatever maximizes our light at the end of the day, in the evening when we're home, because I don't care what the sun does in the morning. I get up at 4 o'clock and I start work at 5. It's dark every day. I don't care. I don't matter. It doesn't matter to me when the sun comes up, but I want maximum sunlight in the evening. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that follows through.
Yeah.
It has really nothing to do with what we're doing here, but just popped into my brain, and I was just curious. But we'll see how it follows out.
Yeah.
Next is it's another hot summer. Okay, so this is a big tire deal. Hot Summer Nights says big blowers, big horsepower, big tires, wheelie bars, and zoomies. What else can a race fan ask for? Titans at 10.5 at Hot Summer Night 17. This is from Beasley. He says, I'm so happy you were able to team up with great companies like Kevin's Auto Repair and Fox Electric. With these guys coming on board this year, we're able to bump the payouts in Pro Street. New payouts are as follows: $1,300 to win, $500 runner up, $200 semis. Number one qualifier gets $300 from Tim's Body and Glass.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff might even change before the event gets here if more people get on board and throw money at it.
Heck yeah. And I saw that too, with the big tire. And of course, they're doing a ladder with that. The other small tire stuff will all be chip draw. But But I didn't we see like Top Dragster and
yes.
There's another. It's just great that they're having a lot of classes. I even saw
there's the classes right there.
Rob Holzman asking questions. Hopefully he can bring his stuff.
Oh, good. So that's what's cool about this. We get to see some stuff we don't normally see at a Titans race, but what we would probably see at a Hot Summer Nights is the Top Dragster, Top Sportsman, and the Big Tire Pro Street. So, man, whatever kind of car you like to see go fast, you'll see it at Hot Summer Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and all the regular
4 years back when me, you, and Wise were there, and there was 33 or 34 cars and small tires that had an A feature and a B feature.
I know what year it was. It was 22. That's the last time my car ran. As bad as it is to say that, man, it was 22. Yeah, and dude, where we was parked, you couldn't get out of our spot. We were trapped.
We were so rookies.
We were trapped.
We were so rookies, right?
Oh man. But they've also redone the staging lane situation since then, which is a lot better. But we were trapped, and there was a ton of cars here.
Browns that weekend. We met the Foremans, the Phillips. We met a lot of people that weekend. Yep,
that was super fun, man.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more on this. We're probably going to touch on this every show for the next 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, because 3 weeks it'll be done. We'll be talking about it. So.
We need to bring Beasley on. We need to bring Al and Larry on.
Robert, Robert would be cool. Robert and Larry now.
Mm-hmm.
So just a little bit ago, we talked about somebody mentioned the artwork, and has everybody seen this? How cool is this?
Yes.
Titans at 10.5. This is the shirt for the show, or for the. So yeah, look at that bottom car, that yellow car. Look at that.
Oh yeah, well, that looks good. That looks really good. And then
Troy and Alan and Gebhardt.
Yeah, Gebhardt. That was the other one.
Yep, Dale Gebhardt. So yeah.
No, it looks good. And I see each one has a little bit of something on their tire. AMC,
Mopar, Chevy. That's a great looking shirt, man.
Yeah, it is. I'm buying one.
Yep, it looks like they're doing it in t-shirt and hoodie, and that's gonna be great.
Yeah, great colors, great artwork there.
Troy says, not gonna say best looking shirt they made, but
no, it ain't. I got it.
But that's what he's saying. Rodney's got it right there with that white.
I got that one.
Yeah.
Woo! No, that's good stuff. Love it.
Yes.
We're definitely Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, we only got Mitch. If you're listening, we got one more little piece.
He's right there.
You're up. You're up. Okay.
He said, okay, he's ready.
So Victor, and Victor and Cletus, they own Bradenton. Yeah. Victor says whatever happened to Snot Rocket. Ever since Brett LaSalle stopped racing, it's been boring. Will we see Snot Rocket at FL2K26 presented by Brian Cryer?
Right.
And
let's set this up because man, we saw Snot Rocket.
We know some stuff.
We saw him racing white rice, right? At Texas Motorplex. And White Rice made a pass and went, I don't remember, 6-0, and then Snot Rocket went, and then he went into the fives, and Snot Rocket went in the fives. You remember all that? And then, and then he goes, and Brett goes to play an LDR, and he's doing good, and all of a sudden they put the penalty on him, with some weight and intercooler, yada yada.
Got the lead trophy.
Got some lead trophies out of that, and then. So he pumped the brakes. He goes, well, if that's the way it's going to be, I'll just, he put a Facebook post out there and he said, I'll have to figure out something else to do. And so while we're sitting there and at TPM, so Brett's like, of course, we're talking to him and the best part of the whole deal, he's like, what? He goes, Rob, what kind of motor's in your car? I go, small block 40. He goes, the Lord's motor. Nice. He goes, those small block. Of course, he's got a Coyote, And so, but anyway, so we asked him, what are you going to do with your car? And he told us.
He did.
We're not telling you.
We're not. We're not saying.
And when you see what he's doing, Did you see he put the wing out picture out today? Did you see that?
I saw that. He was talking about that. Walking up the driveway with me videoing Doug. He just came back from working on that.
That's right. And
did you mention we know what he's doing, but we're not going to say?
I thought someone said that.
I thought I heard you say that.
Was that somebody else?
That came from your garage. We know what he's doing, but we ain't going to say.
And everybody's going to be like, "Whoa,
whoa!"
Didn't see that. What's going on? He was over here, and now he's over there, and wow. And
he's going to kill it. He's going to kill it.
He is. And he's doing it for one reason. And so you'll see why. And and it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yep.
It makes total sense. But that's awesome.
And don't ask because we ain't going to say.
Nah, we can't.
We know, but we ain't going to say.
If I won a truck, I would tell you right now I would be punished by giving the truck back, but I didn't win one. So.
I guess that was part of the deal. I don't want to give the truck back.
You maybe was that the 5-3?
I can't say. I'm not giving the truck back. Dude, I love that freaking truck.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that it? We ready for the man? The man, the myth, the legend?
Well, we told him 20, 30 minutes. Here it is 50 minutes later.
He knows I like to rattle on. So
he'll understand.
Yeah.
So if you've been waiting for Mitch Brown, dude, I'm so excited. I've been excited for this all week.
Yeah.
We're going to learn some stuff about a type of racing we don't know nothing about.
Yeah. It's incredible.
And this is going to be amazing. And this dude is a badass. Here he is, Mr. Mitch Brown. Hi, Mitch.
What's going on, boys? How's it going?
You hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
We got you loud and clear.
I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you guys, putting a motorcycle guy on a car racing show, but we'll get through it one way or another.
This would be great.
And that just shows how much of a badass you are.
That's right. Or how desperate you are.
I'm just a young kid trapped in an old man's body living in a wheat field in Kansas.
Ain't that
same?
All that.
How old are you, Mitch? How old are you?
58.
Okay.
58.
Rod and I are 55. We're right behind you.
Yeah. It's that's one of the sad parts about drag racing is we got a lot of older guys and we need more younger guys.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I want to say right off the bat, I really appreciate what you guys are doing, you know, promoting what you guys are doing, promoting the sport, promoting all of the local companies and series. I mean, it's so important. I think you guys do a wonderful job, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you having me come on and chat with you.
Oh, man.
Man, thank you. Well said.
We appreciate you appreciating us.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Jay Rogers says, laugh out loud. Heidi ho, Mitch.
Yeah. So I heard you mention Heikki early when you were like, hey, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Heikki Salomon. So he's one of our top fuel motorcycle guys from Finland. Some of you guys probably remember that group of guys from Finland, Jaska Salakari, Elimari Salakari. They came over, raced with him, and Heikki, he's a whole big part of my story too. You know, like he did the CAD modeling for the new billet top fuel head, but we'll talk all about that. So, and I'm not very happy that you guys went down to P1 and didn't tell me, because I've been telling Matt for a long time, I want to come down and take a tour. You know, I'm a big manufacturing guy. They got a beautiful facility down there.
They do. It is fantastic.
You'll have to come racing with us, Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you guys got all that. You guys got all that technical stuff. What's it called? Seat belts and roll cages and all that stuff.
That's safety stuff. That's not technical.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's safety stuff. And,
they didn't tell us that in school.
As soon as you said technical, I was thinking Holly, because I thought
I was too, Holly Dominator.
And I know you're a that guy, and so I didn't know where you were going there. And I almost wore my Holly shirt today just to mess with you.
Oh man,
all that fancy stuff.
Oh yeah, like doors and four wheels.
And windows.
Yeah.
Jeff Gillis.
Oh, that's
Jeff Gillis. Jeff Gillis has chimed in already. Jeff says, Mitch, congrats on all your success over the years with the motorcycle stuff. He also says Mitch was always the best rider back in our young days.
Oh, yeah. That's
man.
Good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, I think it's just like car racers. You know, there was a bunch of us motorcycle guys that all wanted to be the best, and it's a competitive deal, right? We all want to be that way.
You bet.
Yep.
You bet.
Yeah.
I was prepping for this show. You know, Gary and I have been talking about bringing you on for a while.
For a while. Yeah.
Right.
And we're just trying to get the timing right and everything. And then, of course, you won the big event there at IHRA, and the schedules worked out, and you were able to make it this week. And you've been doing a fantastic job all week sending stuff over for the show, which is just fantastic. But I, on the background, have been talking to Jeff Gillis as well to make sure I get some of my stories straight. Because I'm 3 years behind you, but I was at some of the same times at the same spot as a little kid in the corner. Yep. You know, looking up to big, Mitch Brown and Marty Chance and all those guys. Like, oh my goodness, can't believe what rock stars.
You didn't have to look up to Marty though. He lot shorter than me.
Yeah. I think I passed him at the 8th grade. I think, But very cool, very cool. Well, how do you want to start it out, Gary?
Mitch sent us a bunch of really awesome pictures that I'm sure they have tremendous stories with them.
Sure.
So, and he did a really good job. I'm pretty positive they were in. Where'd he go?
Oh, there he is. Okay.
There
we go.
Like in chronological order. So the first picture we see here, we're on bicycles. Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah. I guess, if you're going to have a story, you got to have a start to the story, right?
Yep.
So when I was 11 years old, BMX was a big thing. It was 1978. And I asked my parents, can I get a BMX bike? And my mom, she really wanted me to be, probably a lot more of an outstanding citizen that I ended up. So she made a deal with me. For every hour that I practiced the piano, I get $1. And so I had laid it out. I went to Tom Sawyer Bike Shop. I laid it out. I probably wore those people out on the phone. How much is the grips? How much is the Astabula cranks? How much is this and that? And so it was $136. So I did 136 hours of piano practice, and my parents bought me this mongoose, put together mag wheel BMX bike, and piano career was over, and BMX career was in full mode. And, I hope you can zoom in on that picture and see me out front there. That was at McPherson. But see the smoke coming off my tire? I was smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mitch.
Awesome.
Mitch.
Yeah.
Can you still play the piano?
No, I wish I could. I really wish I could.
Oh.
My all three of my daughters are very musical. My middle daughter does music theater, like Rodney's daughter, and I wish that I could, but I had an okay 2-wheel career, so I'll be happy to go with that.
Yeah.
Who are these other cats? The 3 cats behind you. Who are they chasing? Who is that chasing you? Who are they? Do you remember?
Man, I can't even remember. I mean, one of them might be Scott Bega. There's a bunch of guys that are drag racers, that used to race BMX too. And I was so lucky, my parents would throw us in the car and drive us all around Oklahoma and sometimes to Nebraska race. And that's probably, got in my blood, and just like what we do with drag racing now, just traveling around, staying at hotels, getting in trouble, meeting people, having fun.
Yep.
Wow.
Sounds about right.
Oh man.
Great opening picture, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you, so as a kid here on this bike, did you have a passion? Did you know back then that like you might have a passion or career in 2-wheel motorsports? Did you have any idea?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, so here's going to be the whole theme with me. I cannot remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but I can remember like everything from back in the BMX days or whatever.
Oh man!
But I really wanted to race motorcycles, and my parents were having no part of that. Like, Rodney and I grew up in Hayesville, Kansas, and when I was born until I was like in kindergarten, I lived on Western Street, which is about 5 or 6 streets over from where Rodney lived. And these guys would push their dirt bikes in early 70s, they'd push their dirt bikes down the road with them running. Ning, 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 ning. And then they'd go to the field behind us, which is now that whole neighborhood, Ranger Street and all that. And I was like little, man. I was probably 3 years old, and I'm just glued to the screen door window, watching those things. So obviously that was a big draw. My parents wanted nothing to do with the motorcycle deal, so they let me race BMX bikes, and now I'm like 15th quickest guy on a drag bike in the world. So I guess I showed them.
Oh man,
what a statement! 15th
oh man,
goosebumps.
Something like that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh wow.
And so Gary, I mean, Rodney is kind of at day one of how I got into drag racing.
How did you get into drag racing?
Yep. So I raced my BMX bike until I turned 16. And then my parents bought me my first car. It was a super badass, powerful 2-barrel 350 75 Camaro. Probably made like 90 horsepower,
Your neck still hurts.
Yeah, as soon as I mean, like my left arm's bigger than my right arm from lifting that saggy big old Camaro door up to shut it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So as soon as I got a car, that BMX career was over. I was cruising and doing the stuff, and it was all, when you're 16, it's cars and girls, it's not pedaling your ass all the way across Wichita and stuff. So I'm cruising around Hayesville, and I see this candy apple red 73 Camaro, like Prager's, jacked up with like 3 sets of air shocks. I mean, this was the ultimate downhill racer, and had big N50s on the back. It was awesome. And I'm like, so I stopped, and it was my childhood friend Anne Marie Dow, Rodney's older sister. We went to grade school together. We graduated high school together. You know, we're still friends today. But anyway, so I'm like, whose car is this? So I stop and I go up, you know, and Anne introduces me, and it's Marty Chance. Yeah. And it's really kind of a weird story because Hayesville's a really small town, and Marty and I are 3 weeks apart in age. Yeah. So how did we not know each other? Well, it's because, you know, Neil Chance, the amazing man that he was, and Sonny, his wife, I mean, they sent all their kids to private Christian school, Christian Challenge school. So that's why I never really met Marty till he was 16. And then once we met, we were immediately best friends. I mean, it's such a crazy story. So I have one brother. His name is Marty.
Right.
Marty has a brother named Mitch. Yep. My wife's name is Angela. Mitch Chance's wife's name is Angela. And my brother Marty, his middle name is Neil. And it's spelled the same way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like crazy weird thing.
Oh, wow.
So that's how, you know, I think Rod was riding his tricycle up and down the street during the time. But, you know, that's how I met Marty. And we've been fabulous, wonderful friends all our life. And of course, a few weeks after meeting Marty and been over to his family's house, and he says, "Hey, Brown," call me Brown because he had a brother named Mitch. "Brown, you want to go to the drags?" And I go, "What's the drags? I have no idea. What's the drags?" You know? And he's like, "Just be at mom and dad's house at like 10 o'clock on Saturday morning." And I'm like, "Okay." So I get there in the 75 Camaro with the air cleaner top turned over because it sounds better, you know.
Yeah.
So I get there. Yeah. I get there with a 2-barrel. Well, I get there at like 9:30. And, you know, Mitch Chance was there. Doug Chance was there. Probably Dave and Vicky Long were there. That's the Neil's daughter and son-in-law. And we're just kind of standing around in the driveway. And, you know, they had, I would probably guess, about an 800 square foot house, had a little teeny tiny single car garage. And I mean, if the garage door was 6 foot tall, it was probably stretching it. Yeah. And so they opened that garage door, and well, I got to say this first too. Neil had like a 73 Corvette, just a driver, 454 4-speed. So Marty jumps into it. Well, the seat was broken. You know, they didn't have very much money, so didn't have money to fix the seat. And Marty had like a 4x4 that he would put behind the seat so he could get up close enough that he could drive it. And so his dad told him to move the 73 out of the driveway so they could open the garage, and it's 4-speed car. So Mark's pushing his little leg, trying to push the clutch in, and he's cranking it, you know, and it's cranking and cranking, trying to start, and it's slowly drifting down the driveway and just boop, bounces right off the front of Neil's Chevy tow truck, you know. So anyway, we get that out of the way. They open the garage door and wheel out this candy apple red 69 Corvette spaceship. You know, I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. And that is the version of it. When I met them, that was the version of it. It had the Halibrand magnesium wheels on it. It had the 427. It might have been a 438 with that 8-port injector on it. Had center lines on the back of it, you know. And so they rolled that thing out, put it on a flatbed trailer. You know, I'm just probably like a puppy. You know, I'm salivating, slobbering all over everything. And we drive that thing straight up Seneca, over to Ridge Road, probably to the racetrack. Every stoplight, everybody's just looking at that car. You know, it was just, it was amazing. I've been like 1984. And so we all go out to the drag strip. It was the Coca-Cola Summer Nationals. Oh. And, you know, I was just like overload. Everything was sounded so awesome and smelled so awesome and looked so awesome. And I think it was like, I think this is right, but it was either that year or the next year. But Neil did really good, and I think he made it down to about 4 cars, which you guys probably remember, you know, and I think kind of has always been that way at Wichita. But we're coming to the semifinals and the sun's coming up. You know, it's 7 a.m. and so Neil, so Neil goes, all right, load her up, and everybody's like, okay, and I'm like, why are we leaving? We're supposed to go race, and Neil's like, well, we got to go home and take a shower because we got to be to church at 9 a.m. And you know, that was a big thing with the Chance family, and they really took a lot of us kind of vagrant kids, you know, and my parents were good church going people, but the Chances really were just an awesome family and took care of a lot of people. And that was what was first, you know, you could race another weekend. And so it was just a good start to becoming a future drag racer.
Great story.
Wow.
Great story.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I
so
like
then,
looking at these old pictures.
Shortly after that, now because it was the Coca-Cola Nationals, you know, everybody was there, all the family members. Huh?
I like these old pictures because I like these old pictures that people send because you like the old cars in the background. It's just really cool. Old Camaros. There's an old Trans Am in the background. Looks like a back end of a Monte Carlo. Like these old pictures are awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, real quick, is this a left drive or is this a single drive? Is he in the middle or is he on the
so
left?
That's a left drive. You can actually, it looks like Neil's sitting in the car there. And so, let's talk about the car a little bit. So, you know, Neil built the car. That was probably somewhere, and most people did back then, right? That was probably the third or fourth version of the car. He started with a different body that was like, they called it the experimental car. I think him and Adrian Rogers Sr. Built the frame like on the concrete floor. I mean, that thing was literally just 2x3 tubing, flat, and then kind of went up right before the rear axle and then straight. I mean, and then maybe a 4-point cage in it, you know. And that body is an amazing story. Neil worked at the Chevrolet dealership downtown Wichita. We're like, what's it called? Where the guys store all their, what is it?
Are you talking about when it was
where they store all their fancy cars down there behind McDonald's? That was a Chevrolet dealership, and Neil worked there. And Neil and the guy that owned Continental Fiberglass were buddies, and they snuck up to the car dealership after hours. There was a brand new '69 Corvette in the showroom. And they pulled molds off of that brand new car. And that's what they used to make that body. And then Neil bought a pickup. Neil bought a pickup load. And I'm doing my best to tell this story. You know, Neil told Marty and I, because we found that body. I found that body years ago. And, you know, Marty has the car now. We kind of rebuilt it. But so Neil bought like a pickup bed full of chopper gun fiberglass and a 55-gallon drum of resin, and they put all those molds together and made that body. And you know, because you didn't have the money to go buy a body and do the things back then, and that would have been like 1970. And so they built it, but that body was like 3/8 of an inch thick. It was so heavy, you know. I mean, I remember lifting it when I was like 16, 18 years old. I mean, thank God I was 6 foot tall when I was 16. I worked on a farm. I was strong enough to lift that thing. It was so heavy, you know. But then there was many other versions of it. It was always a left side drive car. After that, he put like an 82 nose cone just on the front of it, just to make the car look a little newer. And then, of course, then he put like a 90s door body on that chassis at one point before he sold the car.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, this was something, Gary, because I remember, because Marty just lived one street over. So I was on my bicycle and I would purposely see if this car was out in the driveway. Just to ride my bicycle over and look at it. And then, of course, Mitch knows what I was talking about. But off of their street, there was this hill you could go down your bicycle to and fly down. So I was always over there, you know, playing.
Oh, wow.
But
that's awesome.
It was a good time.
Good openings. It was a really an amazing privilege to grow up around the Chance family, you know, when I was that young. And of course, we hung out at the transmission shop. I think Mitch Chance, you know, paid me like 4 hours a week to run the scrubber on the floor. I was just happy to be down there. You know, I mean, Keith Gouldsby worked at the Chance shop back then. It was just a 2-stall transmission shop. And in the back was the teardown. Elvin Leedy worked back there, you know, and they would just cut converters in half and bend the fins over and weld them back up, make stall converters out of it. Eddie Jump, Chuck Lowry, Dan Drought, Jeff Gillis, Pat Daniels, all them guys always hanging around there. And we got to hang out with all them. And then the old super hijacker car of Marty's, you know, we cruised in it because it was a better car than my car. But sure. So like on Saturdays after we'd get done working at the shop, we'd wash the car and then we'd get the timing light out, set the timing and get it sounding good. And then we'd run home and take showers. We take my car, go home, I drop off Marty. He'd take a shower, go to my house, take a shower, pick him up, then we go back and get his car and go cruise Douglas or West Street or whatever we were doing. And it wasn't till like years and years and years later that Neil told us as soon as we would peel out of the parking lot, he'd go out there and loosen up the distributor and knock about 10 degrees of timing out of it just so we didn't get in trouble.
Oh, man.
One step ahead of the boys.
Yeah. And then we were smart, me and Mart, you know, just like you guys when you were kids, you know, we were really smart. And so for a while, Marty he put headers on that car, but he either didn't have the money or couldn't get the full exhaust on. So he's driving that thing to school downtown Wichita with open headers, and we were cruising it all over South Seneca and Douglas, open headers, big block, you know. And but we were really smart. So we'd get home at like I was the oldest kid in my family. Marty was the youngest. So and all his siblings were pretty good kids, right? So he had free reign. He didn't have to get home till 4 a.m. So I stayed at Marty's house every weekend in the summer that I was home, and all the other times. And but we would come down Van Arsdale, and you remember, Rod, where you were talking about jumping your dirt bike? There was like a little leg in the road where it kind of, you know, curved over a little bit. And so we would come down the road, and Marty'd have to let off the gas to go through that little zigzag. And then, because we didn't want to get in trouble for getting home late, Marty would just romp on it and shut it off. And we would coast like 100 yards in front of the house thinking that we were sneaking up to the house and nobody would hear us. And 100 yards away, he's hitting the throttle open headers at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, man.
Smart kids.
Yeah, smart kids.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
We got a comment here. Heike J. Salmonen says, heads up racing is great. Everybody having a great time. While I love cars too, seeing Mitch here makes me feel right at home. We like old Cadillacs as well. Another secret about Mitch revealed.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's cool.
Yeah. Hey, that's, you know, all those memories that come back. I didn't even think about this, but when Mart and I first started hanging around together all the time, me and Marty, my brother, all our cousins were really little. And so it was Christmas time, and my aunt had brought over this Santa suit, and she wanted me to wear the Santa suit and give out the presents to all the little cousins. And I just told my dad, I ain't doing it. You know, I got stuff to do. I'm going cruise Douglas with Marty and Elvin and Scott Jackson. And, you know, I ain't got time for that. And, he, you know, of course my dad had to talk with me and changed my mind really fast, but I was able to negotiate. My dad had an all white leather interior, 78 Fleetwood Brougham. And, so I negotiated that I would wear the Santa suit if I could take the Cadillac and the Santa suit and cruise Douglas. And believe it or not, my dad let us do that. So I'm driving, right? So I got Marty dressed up in the Santa suit, the whole beard, the whole Santa suit. And we're cruising Douglas. And he's hanging out the window saying, you know, to all the girls, come sit on Santa's lap, tell him what you want for Christmas, you know, all this kind of stuff. So we make it through. It was a great night. Obviously, I can remember it, you know, 40 some years later. But the next day we're driving to church, and my mom is like, why is there red fur all over the window seal of the door? Because Marty was hanging out the window in the suit. So probably that's why I still drive Cadillacs today, because it was such a good memory for me,
Heck
yeah. That's hilarious.
That
there's a picture of that.
And, Gary, did you cruise Douglas? I mean, was that going on when you were still?
No, I wasn't from around here. I was from around Salina, Bennington area.
Yeah, that's right.
Until 2006.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and I almost got Mitch Chance divorced one night when we were cruising Douglas, because Mart and I were in the car, and there were some nice young ladies that we had met, and this girl says, "Well, give me your phone number," and so we're scrounging around the Camaro looking for something. So he gives me one of the orange Neil Chance racing transmission business cards, and I just scribble on the back Mitch and my phone number and give it to the girl. And so I didn't really realize this at the time, but on the front of the business card it said Neil Chance and Mitch Chance on the other side. And so later that week, that poor young girl called the tranny shop asking for Mitch, and Mitch's wife, Angie, I think, was answering the phones at the tranny shop at the time. Yeah, is Mitch there? I met him cruising Douglas. He gave me his phone number, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
Yep. They probably, I'm sure they probably remember that.
Oh, yeah, the back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I never even got the girl's phone number, Man. Angie just hung up on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
man. That's funny. Yeah, cruising Douglas was cool back in high school, and they actually opened it back up. I think even this weekend after Automobilia, they could cruise them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing it last night. Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah. From Salina, my only attachment to Wichita was coming down to super shops in the early and mid 90s to get my nitrous bottle filled. Yeah. That's it. I'd get it filled, super shops, and I'd blast back to Salina.
Yeah.
Nobody in Salina would have had nitrous filling capability. So I had to come down here to super shops.
Super shop. Man, we'll get into it in a minute, but I remember those super shops parking lot being packed on the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was awesome. Flip Williams and I lived together a couple times, once with Marty, and another time we had an apartment in Kingston Cove. And, I had a full nitrous bottle in the kitchen of the apartment because I had bought I think it was Pat Daniels had a NOS franchise, and I traded like 200 times worth more car parts to him than that thing was worth or whatever. So I had Midwest Nitrous. That was my first business, and we were filling bottles out of the apartment. Probably would have got sued if they knew that bottle was in the apartment. Yeah. There's a great picture of it. So that's when I found the body to Neil's old red car, and Marty and I made a deal with a chassis builder to build a chassis for it. And then, we gave Neil, we kind of did a surprise here at my shop, and Marty went and got Neil and brought him over, and we were going to show him that we found the body. And Mark called me. He's like, "I'm on the way to get Dad. Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it kind of dawned on me. I was like, we were all excited. We already made a deal and a down payment with the guy on this chassis. And I said, "Mark, what happens if your dad walks in the shop and says, 'What are you doing with that old piece of junk? I threw that away 20 years ago or something.'" But he came in, saw it, got all teary-eyed. He had built it from scratch, and that was a great experience. And so I asked him when he came in. Martin and I talked about all this, what we were going to do. And I said, "Okay, so 68 iron block with an 8-port and gold Moroso valve covers, kind of like you saw in that first picture." And he was like, he's shaking his head, yeah, because that's kind of how it was. And then Mart said, "Or would you rather put a Hemi in it?" And he was like, "Oh, I always wanted a Hemi." He just never had the money to do a Hemi. He had 4 kids he put through private school, living in that little house. He just never had the money for a Hemi. So Mark got him all the stuff for a Hemi. And he put it together, and obviously Flip was there helping him. And that was really awesome for us to get to see Neil, put that blast motor together for his old race car.
Yes.
That's
great
cool.
Story.
Wow.
Great story,
Yeah.
man.
And I almost ended up being a car racer because obviously, I started with Neil, and I bought like an old junky 72 Camaro shell from my buddy Brian Shaw, and Neil had introduced me to Verlin Height. Do you remember that name, Rod?
Yes.
Yeah. So Verlin had a chassis shop. He was a wild guy. I mean, he hung out with those guys that owned that Allison transmission building business that was right behind where the McDonald's is at Pawnee and West Street. And they had like a blown 82 Corvette. I don't remember if Berlin built the chassis, but whatever, they were all together. And, they were drinking beer and doing all kinds of stuff. And Neil always had a nickname for about everybody, but he called them Booze and Drugs Racing, because they were the wild guys. And Berlin, I remember one night was racing that car, and Neil was either racing with him or right behind him. And Berlin went way out into the dirt in the field, on the right, because there's no guardrail.
Yeah.
Maybe there's still no guardrail out there at Wichita in the right lane. And he goes way out there in the grass and the weeds in the field. And we get Neil down there, or I think after him, and Neil's like, Berlin, what are you doing driving all the way out there in the field? And he's like, oh, Neil, I saw some weeds out there and had to go take a closer look, make sure it wasn't the good stuff, But anyway, so Neil kind of got me hooked up with him, and he came over and assessed my Camaro. And I'd been working on my mom's dad's farm every summer, making $5 an hour, working 100 hours a week during wheat harvest. And I was like the richest 14, 15, 16-year-old kid I knew. And I was buying all them parts, subframe connectors and rear frame rails and 4-point roll cage and all that junk. And so Verlin comes over, him and Whit Rickman, and they look at my car, and they're like, you got to cut all the floor out. You guys have probably done this. I don't know. But they said, you got to cut all that floor out, and then we'll put it together. So Elvin Lee comes over, and he's got a torch, and we got Brian Shaw with like a water squirt bottle. He's the fire department. And in my parents' garage, we are cutting the floor out of this Camaro. I mean, I can't believe my parents let me get away with all the stuff I got. I mean, how we didn't catch the house on fire, I have no idea, because that's a lot of cutting. That stuff's 3 to 4 layers thick somewhere, on the floor. And so Berlin got it back halved, and I had big plans and money. And about that time, I started working at Boeing, and I got my first my 87 GSXR 1100. Yes. And shortly after I got it, I realized that my bike that I ride to work is going to be faster than my race car. Right. And I need a truck and a trailer to get my race car to the racetrack. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just gravitated toward motorcycle racing, after that. And that's when, the South Seneca days and all of us were racing, and that's the day that we surprised Neil. We found the body, Flip and Sonny and Neil and Marty and my youngest daughter, Addison. She put a dress on because she wanted it to be such a big deal for the reveal for Neil for his car.
All right.
So then as soon as I got the motorcycle, that was a lot better deal because you could ride that all week and race it on the weekend. Yeah, there you go. So that's got to be like 87 or 88. Wow. Me, Scott Shirky, and another guy, the one behind me, his name's Wes. He ended up being a cop. And, gosh dang it.
What a deal.
see them wheelie bars on there. We had to, you had to have wheelie bars if you were going to be a drag bike racer. So, once again, big dreams, small money. So me and Scott Shirky went to the yard store. We found some tubing that looked about like what the drag bike guys at the track had, and we bought that tubing. And on the end of a swing arm, there's like a little piece of all thread with a nut on it, and you use that to tighten up and pull the axle back to get the chain adjusted, right?
Right.
Well, I was a pretty good engineer when I was 19 years old, and so I just got a piece of aluminum L angle, drilled a hole in it, stuck it on the end of the swing arm where that nut was, drilled 2 holes top and bottom to hook the wheelie bars on. Marty welded up the wheelie bars in the tranny shop, no bracing in them or anything. And when you run a wheelie bar on a motorcycle, you got to take the shock out and put a strut in there and make it solid. And we didn't know that, And so in front of the old tranny shop on Seneca, the road was just horrible back then. It was 2-lane and all torn up. But we get it all together, and I go out onto Seneca, and I pull the clutch in, and I'm revving it up, and I dump it, and it John Force smokes the street tire as far as you could go, And I turned around and did it again and came back, and me and Shirky and Marty are like, "Woo, this ain't gonna be fast," and had no idea. And so what we ended up doing was I rode it to the track, and we threw the wheelie bars like in the back of somebody's mini truck or something. And we got out there, and I put those wheelie bars on, and like I said, there's no cross bracing between them. It was just 2 big triangles with a little axle with some skateboard wheels. I think my bike ran like 1080 with no wheelie bars. I put the wheelie bars on, and immediately I got promoted to the 1150 class because I about killed myself. Because as I was going down the track, all that unstructured weight, and this was Schedule 40 well pipe tubing. We found out later in life, not pro molly tubing, Schedule 40 well pipe tubing, and it was whipping around so far left to right behind me. It was everything I could do to hold on to it and not crash. So that was our first experience in motorcycle fabrication.
Jeffrey Owens says, ask him about the time he fell over on his GSX-R 1100, free to get back on it, I think, afraid to get back on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I was afraid. I was mad. We were using Douglas, Brian Shaw and Jeff Owens, a couple other guys went to the soccer game or the hockey game or something, and my GSX-R was new. I bought it used, but it was only like 6 months old. And when we used to cruise Douglas on a motorcycle, you could, right before you got to Century 2, you could cut back north and go backwards through like where the tellers are, the outdoor tellers are through the bank. You couldn't do that in a car, and we wouldn't have to go all the way around the block. Well, so I turn to tighter than 90 degrees to make that turn, and there's all kinds of like sand and stuff in the little entryway there, and I just lay my motorcycle over. My brand new motor. I'm just sitting there, and I'm just so upset. I'm having a tea party, and all of a sudden, this car pulls up like a Monte Carlo or something. Pulls up like 10 foot past my deal. The door opens. The front seat leans forward, and the guy jumps out the back seat, and I'm like, somebody's coming to check on me, right? Like they feel sorry for me. So I'm feeling pretty good. And the guy in the back seat sticks his head out and throws up like 10 feet from my bike because he was drunk, That was when I thought they were coming to help me. And the guy's just throwing up. So I get the bike, push it over the corner, find a payphone, call, and leave him on Owens' answering machine. Bring the truck, bring the ramp, bring the tie downs. It's all messed up, blah, 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 blah. I'm crying. And so they show up with Jeff's little truck, and I'm telling them the whole story. And Owens, who's the only guy that I know more than Marty Chant, gets on my bike, revs it up, and rides a wheelie across the parking lot. And I'm like, give me my motorcycle back. and off we went again. So he's just teasing me for being a big baby that I couldn't get over on my motorcycle.
Oh, funny. Hey, Mitch, is this picture at what would have been WIR back then?
Yeah, that is. I mean, yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm asking, like, think about this, Gary. That tree right there.
The tree is still there.
Yeah, the tree is. Think about that.
Is that the same tree? Holy cow!
Yeah. That tree is.
Yeah, same tree.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It stood the test of time for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
When you were going with Neil too, Mitch, I think they called it M&M.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it was Wichita International by the time I started going in '84. I think it was M&M before that.
Right. When you were going Neil, when you're knee high with Neil, I think it was M&M.
Yeah. But we used to park, all the motorcycles used to park up against the fence there, like how we're all aimed in there. So once we figured out, we got some good advice from Jim Kelly and David Hidaka that was on here earlier that you were talking about. Dave owned Kamikaze Cycle Parts with Ron Bourne, and those guys were really good to us. And so me and Brian Shaw and Scott Shirker, we all had those GSXRs, and we would ride all week long, and then on Friday night we'd all go to Brian Shaw's house. We'd put our bikes in his dad's out, like, what do you call it, detached garage. We'd tie over the rafters and lift the backs of the bike up and take the wheel off. And then we'd run down to Kamikaze, and Ron would let us use the tire machine, and we'd put our 7-inch slicks on. Now, my 7-inch slick was a used slick that I bought from Larry Green for $40 because I didn't have the money for a new one. Like, I mean, I probably put that tire on 20 times that summer. And so then we would go back, put the wheels on, put our struts in, because we learned shocks don't work with wheelie bars, put the wheelie bars on, and then we would go out racing, all Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. We'd go to Wichita and run until the track closed, and then we'd load them up and go to 29th in Ohio and race out there till 2, 3 in the morning, and then go back on Sunday. And we met a guy at the time. His name was Scott Teague. He was a cop, and he rode a Ninja, and we called him Officer Ninja. And he told us, he goes, you need to go to 29th in Ohio and race with the brothers. Yeah. And we were like, whose brothers? Because, I mean, we grew up in Hayesville. We only had one black family, the Fitzsimmons, and, we didn't know what racism was. We grew up in this little bubble or whatever, I mean, we didn't know anything. And he was just like, the brothers. And we were like, oh, okay. So here we go, 3 cornbread, white farm kids out to 29th, Ohio with all the brothers. And they just adopted us and took us in and were so good to us. And we race, 4 in the morning out there.
Yeah.
Woo!
Good times.
Man. Good times. Hey, Gary. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a second, Mitch. Yeah, here we go. This is what I want to see. So pull that picture back up. So
there you go.
This picture. Let me take over for a second. So at this same time, I even talked to Jeff today. This is late 80s, early 90s. Like I'm talking 89 and 90. I graduated in 89. I think Mitch graduated in 86. And so I work at Whitlock Auto Supply at the time. And so, that's like an O'Reilly's or an AutoZone or whatever. And so I'm only there. This is like my first week there. So let me set the stage. Like David Gray has this 11-second Chevelle at this time. There's a guy named Daryl Johnson that has this Camaro that runs in the 12s. A guy named Chris Florio has a Nova that runs in the 13s. And they're all hanging out at this Rat Hat or something like that, Jack Tanner's shop, and they're doing all this stuff. And I got this old, that there. And so I got this old Chevelle and stuff. And so my boss comes up to me. I think it's the first Friday that I work here, and I'm, I live in Hazel. I'm driving to Wichita for a job, I'm big time. Right. And so anyway, he comes up to me Friday night and he says, hey, you want to see something cool after work? And I'm like, yes. Yeah, I want to see something cool. Didn't tell me what it was. Didn't tell me where we're going. He just said, follow me. He had like a nice like 62, 63 Chevy 2. I had a small block in it, ran good. And so I'm following him to 29th in Ohio. I have no idea where we're going. I never been there before.
It's a long way.
It's a long way. And so I drive up there, and this place is packed. This place is packed. You can't find anywhere to park, or I mean, the street is just lined. It's after midnight, and I'm like running down out of his element, you know, as a 17 whatever. Like, whoa, this is so cool. Well, a couple of races happen. We pull off the side. I'm basically staying on the side of the road, and this one motorcycle. I don't know everybody, and so Mitch will have to help. But I believe he raced like a 65 Mustang white with a small block Chevy in it, and they went towards the south. It was like Dan Drought.
That was Dan Drought and Brian Shaw.
Yeah, and so that was the first race. That was like the warm up. You know what I mean? And believe me, I don't know anybody. I see Mitch, but I don't go up and talk to him. You know, he's in his element with his buddies, and so I see him there and stuff. Well, then the main event comes on, and I see a car and a motorcycle come towards us now. So we're racing to the north, and it's this car right here, Jeff Gillis, and I don't know who the other motorcycle was. Do you know who it was, Mitch?
Yeah, it was me.
Was it you?
Yeah, that was me.
I did not know that.
You know,
and that was a race, and so from that day on, I'm just like, this is the coolest thing ever. I was always into cars anyway with hanging around these guys, but like that was the coolest thing ever. Go ahead, Mitch.
That was a crazy deal. You know, like I don't remember how it kind of really started that we're going out there, but the way I remember it, like maybe Jeff and I had talked about it or somebody had set it up maybe a couple days before. Jeff probably has a lot better memory than me, but the way I kind of remember it is like, we were on South Seneca at the car wash down by 34st, and somebody said, let's go race. And so we all went out there, and like years after that, I had people, there was a guy named Kelly. I was just trying to remember his last name. He was delivering pizzas for the Pizza Hut there on Seneca. And he saw everybody just heading down Seneca, like all these people. And he's like, I pull up and ask somebody what's going on. And there's like, Mitch Brown and Jeff Gillis are going to race at 29th in Ohio. And he just drove there. Like he had like a 4 pizza order. He didn't deliver them. I don't know if he got fired. This is a true story, man. This is what he told me. And he drove there and he just got the pizzas out on the hood of the car and people were eating pizza, you know, while we were waiting for racing.
Oh my goodness.
Now, the reason that Dan and Brian raced to the south is that's the way that we always raced with the motorcycles, because that's what all the brothers did out there. But, you know, motorcycles stop a lot better, weighs 500 pounds. And, but Dan, you know, he was like, that was too hard to stop. So let's turn around and go the other way. So Jeff and I went down there and came back. So everybody's basically at the finish line instead of the starting line, which had to be pretty exciting when we came flying by there. But the reason that we started there was because there was a little bump there. And I remember, I'm sure he probably won. I can't remember. But when we hit the bump, we were really close to each other. And I felt like I could see one of his headlights when I looked over. You know what I mean? Like the car got a little sideways. I got a little sideways. But, yeah, there was a bunch of people. People still bring that up to me all the time.
Oh, it was a classic race. And
it was a lot of fun.
You know, and I talked to him earlier today just to check in on this, and you're right. He said he got real loose there when he hit the bump and all that kind of stuff there. Yeah. But man, what a classic race.
So actually, I think how the race got set up, you know, you mentioned that billboard to me. I can tell you right where it was. It was like real close to where the Seneca Bowl was. I think Jeff's brother bought that for him. 947 in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, that was super fast. Super fast on the street. You know, like you were talking about Dave and all them guys, 12, 13, 11-second cars. Those were fast cars, you know.
Right.
So what happened, I think, was, so I had bought a drag bike, and it was a car tire drag bike from Harry Maloney, and it was like, it may have been the first car tire drag bike ever, because there was a company in Wichita called Kennedy Cycles Star Racer. They built flat track chassis, and Larry Kennedy was like the ace at building wheels. This car tire chassis that I bought had aluminum mag wheel off of a Ford van, and machined the center of it out. They made a hub, and he spoked it like a motorcycle wheel. And that was the car tire on this bike I bought. And so once again, big plans, little money, but it did have a nitrous kit on it. So I didn't really have the money to work on the car tire bike, but I could easily put the nitrous on the old GSXR. And I just drilled holes in the rubber boots from the carburetors to the cylinder head and stuffed fogger nozzles in there. And we literally duct taped and zip tied everything else of the whole nitrous system on the bike. And, so we took it to Wichita. It's me, Scott Shirky, Brian Shaw, a couple other guys. And in my little Toyota truck, my little Toyota 4-wheel drive truck. And I think that this was when Scott Shirky and Valerie Heimerman were married or dating. And it was Valerie's mom and stepdad that actually ran the track at the time. So it was like one of her brothers came up to me and said, "Hey, are you Mitch Brown? Yeah, we heard you got nitrous on your bike. We don't have any insurance to run nitrous on bikes, so you can't run it." I'm like 21 years old, so I'm like, okay, no problem. So the first pass, I got the nitrous on the horn button, right? And so, I mean, I don't know what test and tune is. I'm like, put this crap on and go, right? This thing been sitting in the barn, who knows what's going on with this nitrous system. So I'm like, okay, here's the plan. We're going to take off. As soon as I shift to second, I think the bike ran 1050s with the wheelie bars on. And as soon as I shift to second, I'm going to hit the nitrous. And I think it ran like a 1039 or something, And Brian and Scott are like, that ain't going to work. You got to hit the button as soon as you leave the line. Okay. Now, I forgot another thing. I was living with Marty and Flip at the time. And the first pass, we came back and I melted the whole end of one of the spark plugs completely off because I think it had a clogged fuel line. We didn't know about checking. I mean, I don't even think I took a line off to check what size the jet was. I just stuck it on there. Right. And so I completely burned the end of the spark plug. So I jump in my pickup, haul ass back 55th and Broadway where Marty's house was, run in the garage, grab a handful of used spark plugs that I had taken out, go back to the track. We put the plugs in. I think somebody helped us figure it out. We had a clogged fuel line. The whole goal was there was a guy named Carl Littlejohn, one of the brothers from up north, that had the record for like a street driven bike. And he had went like a 999. And so the goal was to beat him. And so we go up for the second pass. I dump the clutch, hit the horn button, and this thing goes from the left side of the lane to the right side of the lane to the left side. Because remember, I got this used tire that's been on a million times. About killed myself. And I go across the finish line and I come flying down the return road and Shirky's just waving at me and Brian, they're waving at me. Come on. And I go over there. I get off the bike. They literally picked it up, no ramp, like 4 guys, stuck it in the back of the truck, said, get in the truck. I still had my helmet, leathers on, everything. And out the gate we went because they were coming to get me because they realized I'm on nitrous because I'm all over the track, about killed myself. And, but they got the time slip. True story. All the witnesses. It went a 998. So I was like, wow. So I think that's kind of how that we got the race with Jeff. The fastest street bike at the time and the fastest street car.
That's awesome. Great story, dude. Gary.
Yeah. Remember, I told you that my life. When I tell my stories like this, I kind of feel like I'm on that TV show where the radio interview Joe Dirt. Kind of feel like that's my life, Joe Dirt.
Yeah. That race was talked about for years, and it was just, the next week, the next day at work, did you see that? I mean, the next weekend, it was just, and we're still talking about it, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
that's what old guys do. We relive our childhood.
I was listening when I was in the bathroom and talking about the race with you and Jeff, and I was curious, and you might have just said like how, like this billboard with Wichita fastest streetcar 947 143, if that's how fast his car was when you raced him and how fast your bike was at that time when you two raced.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think he had just done that, and that was the billboard, and probably in that same summer or whenever, that same year was when I did the wall-to-wall 998 pass, and so that's why we decided it's probably a good idea to race.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because, I mean, not saying anything about this car right here, but I'm sure, and Jeff can chime in. It's probably big block, iron heads, fogger,
power glide,
ladder bar,
all steel, obviously. Maybe had a.
Hey, is this the same car Jeff has now that's red? Is this the same car?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wow, no kidding. He's had it all these years.
Yeah.
Hey,
man,
listen, I have the same motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's sitting in my garage and it's red.
Oh man.
So, and listen, so I sold that motorcycle to my wife's cousin, Bert Dickerson, and then he sold it to my wife's brother, Ernie. And so we call it Sesame Street Racing now, since Bert and Ernie own it.
Oh my goodness.
But I still got it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Let's move along, Gary. We got some pictures.
Oh, yeah, we got a ton of pictures. You're about to get into some really serious stuff. Here's some more old pictures.
Yeah, that's probably the nitrous day right there. That's probably the guardrail to guardrail day.
Okay.
What else
Jeff
you got?
Jeff says he's had it for 46 years. Man.
Yeah. I would never sell it, Jeff.
It's amazing, Jeff. Here's an old picture, trailer, little Toyota pickup.
So that was Troy Schreiber had that little Toyota pickup and that flatbed trailer. And then he had a GSXR 750. And then Tracy Marsh had a GSXR, and then me and 1100, and me and Brian Shaw. So we had all four of those bikes behind that little Toyota that made 80 horsepower or something, right? And
it needed some nitrous.
And we drove that thing. Yeah, we needed it. We drove that thing all the way to Tulsa, and that was our first trip ever to go to the midnight drags at Tulsa.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So all them guys talk about open trailers. Well, we all did it,
Yeah.
So you guys recognize anybody in that picture other than my motorcycle sitting there?
No.
So that's Arc City. And we went through a period of time at Wichita where we didn't get to run motorcycles for like 10 years. And so, so Dennis, Thomas, and I were good friends. And so that's Dennis on the left with his big fancy hair. And then on the right behind my bike is Pat Sullivan. And Pat's a year older than me. And he was from Hayesville. So we grew up together. And the guy in the middle sitting on the trailer is Chilo. Remember Chilo, Rod?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Chilo.
Yes.
But so what we would do is Dennis had that little Mustang and an open trailer. And so we would stick my bike in the back of his Chevrolet Silverado, and we'd put the Mustang on the trailer, and we'd go to Wichita, and we'd race the Mustang. Dennis would race his Mustang, and then we would leave, and then we would make the route home through all the bars, like Bubba Rocks and Party Train. But usually we would end up at Ridge Runners there at, where all the South stuff was. And then the next morning on Sunday, we would jump in the truck and head to Arc City because we could both, race when we got to Arc City. And I'll tell you what, Dennis Thomas is the best friend you can have if you're hanging out at the bar drinking beer. Because Dennis don't drink beer. So we would go in the bar and I would get a beer and Dennis would get a beer and I would drink my beer and his beer would be 7/8 full and I'd drink his beer and then he'd buy another beer and I'd buy my beer. But okay, so I got to tell you, so me and Pat and Dennis, all had pretty long hair back then. So Dennis and I go into Ridge Runners and we just kind of had like a little ritual. Like he would go around the bar and the pool tables back to the bar, and I would go like around the dance floor by the DJ, and we'd come back and order our Coors Lights, and then we'd say, oh, Joe's here, and of course Chris Prim was probably always bouncing there, so and so's here, and we would tell these stories. Now we're stone sober. We just left the racetrack, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and I come back and Dennis is talking to this guy. True story. And so the guy looks at me and he goes, is this him? And Dennis goes, that's him. The guy drops to his knees, puts his hand up in there and says, I've been waiting my whole life to meet you, man. It's a pleasure. All this kind of stuff. He gets up. I have no idea what's going on. No idea what's going on. And this guy's just going on and on. You ask Dennis Thomas, he'll tell you this exact story. This guy's going on and on and on. And finally, like I'm about to laugh and Dennis is about to laugh. And so we go, okay, buddy, see you later. And we split off and go opposite ways. And we go back around by the pool table and I go, what the hell was that? And he goes, well, apparently when you went around the dance floor, you bumped into him. And he was, all South Side Ridge Runners drunk. He was all in. Because we probably didn't get there till almost 1 a.m. And apparently I had bumped into him and he was going to kick my ass. Right. And so he comes over to Dennis, who's your buddy, blah, blah, blah. Dennis, just such a cool guy, gets the guy calmed down, immediately. And the guy says, hey, are you guys in a band? Well, at Wichita, they would call me and Dennis and Pat the damn hippies. They called us the damn hippie race team. So this is the same time when they had that band, what was it called? Damn Yankees, right?
Damn Yankees.
Yes. It was Ted Nugent, Tommy Shaw from Stax, all that. So Dennis the guy looks at Dennis because we all got this way past our shoulder hair. He goes, are you guys in a band? And Dennis says, yeah, we're the damn hippies. Well, this guy hears damn Yankees. So he thinks I'm Ted Nugent.
Oh, man.
So that's the night that Ted Nugent saved me from getting my ass kicked, probably. I guess. I probably could have taken him. I was a big kid. I probably could have whooped him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That was so much fun. Yeah, my old short bed. And Dave Polk from Polk Performance?
Yep.
So that's my black short bed sitting in the driveway, and that little piece of crap yellow import car was Dave's car. So Dave was a motorcycle guy. We met him dragging Douglas. He had this little crappy red, white, and blue Honda V4 Interceptor. But listen, when we met Dave, he looked exactly like Tom Cruise, and Dave was in the Air Force. So he's cruising Douglas on his little Honda, dressed up as the Air Force guy. And so we just called him Tom Cruise. And but Dave was tuning all of our bikes back then. Me and Ray Shipe and Paul Mayer lived in that rental house. And I mean, every night there was 30 motorcycles in my driveway. That was like just south of the flea market. And we used to race behind the flea market all the time.
Right.
And so that was kind of like the staging area. But Dave was, he figured out we could put shims under our needles on our slides and get more fuel in there. And, it's always a small world.
Yeah. Look at that.
So who's that chick riding that bike, right? Look at that long hair.
Long hair.
So must be the damn hippies. So
Ted Nugent.
Yeah. So 1996, I was living with Steve Goff, and I'd been doing aircraft contracting, traveling all over the United States, fixing planes, because I got fired from Boeing when I was 21. I was on double secret probation because my boss really loved me. But, I stayed out riding my motorcycle till 4 in the morning, so it was kind of hard to get to work by 7 some days. So anyway, I was out contracting, and I came back to Wichita, saved all my pennies so I could go to the Frank Hawley drag racing school and go to George Bryce's pro stock motorcycle class. Nice. And because I just wanted to be pro stock motorcycle racer. That was it. I knew it. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I was going to do. So I saved up the money. I went. Lonnie Moore went with me. He was my buddy that went with me, and I saw you guys were at the Don Garlitz Museum. I mean, Lonnie and I. Yeah, we went to that museum in 1996, that same weekend. I can't imagine what it's like now, but it was amazing. I was glad to see you guys were there. And so I did the school, which was amazing. I learned so much. And George asked everybody in the class, what's your goals? What are you here for? And I said, I want to be a pro stock motorcycle racer. And he said, well, you're a pretty good rider, but you're twice the size of one. Oh. Just burst my balloon. I paid $2,000 for the class and $1,000 to get there. I mean, just put a hole right in my balloon. But I have had an amazing friendship with George for the last 30 years. I met him in May of 96. I met my wife, Angela, the same month as I met George. Luckily, I still have both of them. And, we've done so many things together and had so much fun. And I'm so glad I went. But there was a little girl in the class. That's her standing back there at the back of the Gainesville Raceway. And she was so little, she just couldn't even hit her ship points. I mean, the bike took off so fast because she didn't weigh 90 pounds. Right. I think I weighed 155 at the time. And so George tells her, go stand all the way at the back and watch the big hippie. Because he does it right every time. And probably the reason I did it right every time is because I weighed twice as much. My bike was running in slow motion compared to when she was riding the bike, right?
Fat ass at 155.
Yeah. So, from that, that was a pole vaulting part of my career. And I learned so much at that school. Riding the bike was like the gift bag. But what I learned from Frank Hawley and George about the mental side of racing, used it in so many other parts of my life. One of the things they teach you is a conscious thought in your brain takes 87% of your brain power, right? So if you're saying, I got to cut a light, I got to cut a light, I got to cut a light, you're only leaving 13% of your brain power to hit your shift point, do anything else that you got to do. So they really teach you that you're making a movie in your mind. And, back then it was a VHS. So George would say, we're making a VHS tape in your mind. And so he would teach you, to do the whole run. From the time the bike starts till the time you shut it off, you do that. And the great John Myers, who raced for Star Racing and won lots of championships, George would say he would do 100 practice runs a day, just sitting on the bike, in his mind. And, you get that timing down so that when you go to the starting line, you just push play on the VHS and it plays out. And that way your brain is really clear. And, Frank Hawley did a lot of work with professional golfers and college football lines about the mental side. Frank Hawley would say, see them guys hitting themselves in the helmet to get psyched up. And he was really the best you can be is that right before you roll into the water and go to the staging lane to be in a sleep-like state. Literally just sitting in your car, with your brain as free and clear as it can. And then they slap on the hood, let's go. You flip the VCR on and you do your deal. And can't argue with the success of the people that have been through that school and George has worked with and taught. So it was really a great experience.
Man,
Wow.
that's a great story.
Who is the girl in the background? Do you have any idea who or where she's at now?
Oh, yeah, it's Angel Sealing or Angel Sampay or
right. Yeah,
that's her. So she went to
no kidding.
she went to the school and then she ended up riding George's bike years after that, and then she rode for DSR when they had a team, and now she's Antron. Let's see, Antron's wife is Angel's cousin.
Right.
So she drives that A-Fuel car that Antron owns, and she does all the mission, what's it called? The tortilla deal, Yeah. So she made a life being a professional motorcycle racer, and I went home to be a big Kansas farm kid.
Hey, did you ever meet Dave Schultz by chance?
I never met him. I called him on the phone one time. I had this great idea for this part, and I called him on the phone, talked to him. He was really nice. And I'd seen him at the racetrack a few times when I would go to watch the pro stock bikes at Topeka and stuff, but it wasn't close with him.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
So, Angel in the background back there, did you have any idea back then that like, did you see like her future was going to be so big and so bright and so successful? Could you see that coming?
Well, I knew she was little, and that's a huge advantage. Yeah. And I could tell that was her third school. So she had been 2 classes before me. Matt Hines from Vance and Hines was in the class before me. She went to 2 more schools after me. And then that was 96. So she started racing that year under the Star Racing banner,
Wow.
So, wow. Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Great story. What else you got, Gary?
Look
at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, so what I did, after I got my bubble bursted, I just started working my way up. I had the old GSXR and I started racing it in super gas. And then I bought a bike and raced 890 super comp. And then I built this bike and ran 820, which we call a top gas index. Did pretty well with that. In that same time frame, in the 90s and early 2000s, we raced at Thunder Valley, and Tommy Bolton had started this deal called the PMRA, and he did it like in 96, that year that I went to Georgia school. In fact, about a month after I went to the school, George called me out of the blue. I was surprised, and he said, "Hey, did you have your race?" I said, "Yep." He goes, "Did you do what I told you to do?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I knew what, you taught me in the school." And he goes, "Did you do what I told you to do?" And I was like, "Well, not really, but I knew what you were teaching me." And he goes, "Why did you spend all the money?" And I don't remember his exact words, but he's like, "Why'd you come here if you're not even going to do it?" And a big part of it was like the practice runs, and you pick your target at the end of the track where you're going to go, and you take your car's no different than a motorcycle, but really where it's pointed is where it's going to go. Especially like my bike now, it's so fast, it's wherever it's pointed, it's going. And so I said, I didn't really. So then the next race I did, and I won. And then the next race I won. And then the next race I got runner up. And if we would have had a championship, I would have won a championship that year. But Tommy was running the races, and he kind of started the PMRA, but we weren't having races, and we would drive to Oklahoma City, and we would be waiting at the gate, and the caretaker would be like, "What are you guys doing here?" "Well, we're here for the PMRA race." "Oh, Tommy canceled that last Thursday." Well, we didn't even barely have the internet, so it was hard to get the word out.
Right.
So myself, another guy from Wichita named Mark Paquette, and a guy from Tulsa, Dave Hout, went to the track people there at Thunder Valley and said, "Hey, we'd like to take it over." Tommy agreed. So Angela and I, lived in some little duplex, and we had like the Windows DOS computer, and we literally copied the whole rule book from the IDBA Drag Racing Association and typed it out. And she probably typed 90% of it because, I was like, speed flunking. And because we wanted our rules to be similar to the big organization rules. Sure. And by the time that we got to the first race, Mark had a business opportunity where he had a chance to buy into his business, and Dave, his business was growing. So it was me and Angela, and then we had some other great friends along the way, Donna Jones and Kenny Thomas. And so basically I ran the PMRA for 17 years, Professional Motorcycle Racing Association. It's still going today. I think it is the longest running all motorcycle drag racing association in the world right now. And so, and I was very proud of that. I didn't have two nickels to rub together. I mean, I was lucky that my hot girlfriend had a pickup because I didn't have a pickup. She could haul my motorcycle to the races, but we had so much fun. And I remember at the end of our races, we do about 5 to 7 races a year. I would, I do all the points like on an Excel spreadsheet. And before the finals, I would kind of calculate who had a chance and could, and I kind of had them highlighted and ready to go because we would do our award ceremony right after the last race. And so we'd finish the race, and I'd go up in the tower and with my laptop and start doing the points, and we'd do a pit bike race, and everybody kind of celebrate and have a good time. But then we would hand out the awards, right after that. And I got to tell you, like, how racers are, I mean, we all love each other and we do anything for each other mostly. And, but when, when you roll into the beam, it's head cutting time, right?
Right.
And so here's all these guys that get along so good, but, seeing all these grown men, and they battled it out and they won the PMRA championship, just this little regional deal. And, those guys would break tears out when they were giving their speeches. And I just feel like I was very lucky that God put me in the path of doing that, to keep motorcycle drag racing going. And, we just had a great time. So I feel very fortunate I got to do that. Yeah. And that's back in those days, PMRA days.
Hey, Rod, when we would race, we'd race heads up small tire at Arc City and race with the bikes. Yep. Was that the same group? Was that the PMRA guys? Was that the same group that 100%. He's talking about? I think so too. Yeah. That's awesome.
There's been a couple people that took over. I mean, like, it's not something you can sell. It doesn't make money. It loses money. And I was very fortunate that when I was ready to be done, I said I was going to do it for 10 years. I did it for 17. I had a really great group of racers that had some financial strength, I guess you'd call it. They had a little bit of money that they could spend on doing it. And several of them owned businesses, so they had some business sense. And they did an amazing job and really took it to the next level. I've seen this a lot of times. Every time a track sells, it gets a new revitalization of energy. I think we're kind of going through that at Wichita right now, right? And so those guys came in, did a phenomenal job, took it to the next level. And then now there's another guy named Chad that's running it out of Oklahoma City. He's doing a great job. That's who I think you guys have been racing with. And I'm just happy that they're all still working hard so people can race their motorcycles.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and the Harpers always talked good about it because there would be a situation where they kind of handled everything themselves. The tech, the rules, the payouts,
all the payout, everything.
Harper just had to have the track ready and call them to the lanes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we were very lucky. And then we got to do it all by ourselves at Noble because Marcia Crook, who was the track manager there for forever and ever. I mean, she just loved all of our people, and she got like the concessions, and we got the gate money from the racers to pay the purse, and she got the gate for the spectators. And I'm sure she lost money every single race, but she made it where we could race, and everybody knew that and was very appreciative.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
Hey, so remember the guy that was teasing me, Jeff Owens, about falling over on my bike? So that was Jeff on the front of the picture on the far right, the black T-shirt with the Monster logo. So that was what was that? It was Man Cup NHGRO race at Indy, and I was fortunate to win that race that day. And Lauren Gray and Greg Fisher came to watch and hang out, and Greg Fisher works at Pepsi, and so he had brought like a bunch of Red Bull. I think they were the distributor at the time. And so Jeff Owens, we've been buddies for 100 years. Owens takes down a Red Bull, and we go to the first round and we win. And so we come back and he's like, I'm doing another Red Bull. Keep it going. Well, that was like, I think there was like 68 bikes in the class. So what is that, 5 or 6 rounds? So of course it didn't get over till like midnight. And if you could zoom in on the picture, you can look at Owens. He's shot, man. He's like 6 Red Bulls into it and crashed, you know.
Woo!
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, all the great memories, you know. I mean, I think that's Lauren. I think that's Lauren Gray right underneath the R, just over my right shoulder.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Looky here.
Woo, that's the same bike. That was from when we used to have the Chill motorcycle show. So that was the last body. Tracy Marsh had that clutch rod and custom. He had Wes Lewis and Ed Hargraves, what's his name, painting down there, and they did that paint job, and it was unbelievable, immaculately beautiful. And and that was during the time that I started racing the Nitro Harleys, and you know that was about the last time that I raced it, and then I finally sold it. You know.
Sure. Yep, the Chill.
All right, so I don't know what that is on the right, but what I was trying to show you was,
would you look at that,
you guys? Yeah, I'm proud of you guys for always going to Waffle House, because I kind of feel like I'm the guy that started the Waffle House racing deal, because you know, from Kansas we don't have Waffle Houses, so we would always go to race like at Valdosta, and I love Waffle House. I know you guys love Waffle House, right?
Oh yeah,
and
if
the honest truth is, if you're in an area that has Waffle Houses and you do not go at least one day on your racing trip, you have no chance to win. Because that's what all my Nick Moore on my team, you know, he was like Waffle House for the win, you know. And we would literally go to the track, unload everything, have some big problem, fight it, and Nick would be like, we didn't go to Waffle House. So the next morning we go to Waffle House, like we won that Night Under Fire race, and it was we ate the Waffle House, you know, the night before, and everything got straight and we won.
That's it.
So I just wanted to say that I appreciate you guys being a Waffle House family.
Yes. Hey, Rod, we went to Waffle House in Florida, right?
Yeah.
And this guy at work last week, he goes, and I was wearing my Waffle House shirt. I hadn't worked for a while. I dug it out of the closet. I'm like, I need to wear my Waffle House shirt. He saw it and he goes, man, I've never ate at a Waffle House. I was like, no kidding? Yeah, I've never ate at a Waffle House. There's none around here. And and I said, yeah, dude, you either love it or hate it. And I love it. Some people hate it. I love it. But I love it. And so it was funny.
And you're right.
You know, there's one
little tradition, so you got to go keep it going.
Yeah, there's one in Springfield, right on the way to Ozark, and you can get your rig in the parking lot just to the south of it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys go? Did you go to the Waffle House in Cocoa Beach?
No, we missed that one. We talked about it.
Yeah. That's the nicest Waffle House in the country. They even got palm trees in the parking lot. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, man. But there's a little piece of waffle left. What's happening there? What's going on? You didn't eat it.
I think it was symbolism, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I pretty much licked the whole rest of the plate clean, Gary. I mean, look at that.
Oh man. Hey, your sister is here, Rodney.
I see that.
Anne Marie.
Yep. How are you? How are you?
Anne Marie.
Telling stories here with Mitch.
Oh man.
Yeah. Thank God Anne Marie knew Marty Chance, or I would have been probably some rich guy living some fancy place. Wouldn't be a broke ass drag racer if it wouldn't have been for Anne introducing me to Marty Chance.
Oh, that's funny.
That's my buddy George Bryce. Just one year when we were at Valdosta having fun. He's one of my best friends. I've learned so much. If you guys know very much about George, he's just one of the highest praised guys in motorsports. I mean, a couple of years ago when we were at PRI, I always see you guys there. I love to see you there every year. And we were talking to Lake Speed Jr. when he was working at Total Seal. Mm-hmm. And Lake Speed Jr. is a really smart guy. Him and George do some engine conference deals together. And we were talking about rings and pistons. And he's like, well, do you have a motorcycle engine guy you work with? Or do you have a guy you work with? I go, well, I got a motorcycle guy I work with. And he goes, who's that? And he said, George Bryce. And he goes, I can't help you if you're friends with George Bryce, because George Bryce is top of the list, And of course, everything I've done at Monster Race Products, has been under the tutelage of George. We did the 4-valve cylinder head, which really made Monster turn into a company. And gosh, he's just, he's held my hand and taught me, because I'm not a good student, but he's taught me over the years. And, he's the one that introduced me to Rob Flynn, the Top Fuel crew chief. Rob does consulting with me and Todd Martin, and we've learned so much, on the nitro side from him. And that's all from a relationship from George and Jackie. I just went to, they're retired now. They live in Nashville. George actually does an engine school where he talks about theory of engine. And I was fortunate to go to that earlier this year, and it was just absolutely amazing. And the people that were in the class, were just so high above my level, but what I learned from the whole thing was amazing, and just very thankful to have them in my life.
Yeah. It's funny too, like we're talking about, surrounding yourself with these people to make your career, keep going and just surrounding yourself with these good guys. This is great.
If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Right on.
Right. Yes. This little guy says, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. If you suck, it's because you're lazy. Yeah.
That's just kind of one of my little philosophies at life. And I know you guys are kind of in the same thing. Like us drag racers, we're just gritty, right? Like we got some really smart people around us, but most of us are just really hardworking guys. And, that was an inspirational thing that I saw, and I got that hanging up in my shop, and just figured I'd share it with you guys.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a young Mitch Brown, doesn't it?
It does, man. On that BMX, they can turn one with the smoke coming out the rear tire.
Yeah. He's a little longer hair.
Yeah. I was only like 5 then, but look, I had wings and a helmet and cool glasses.
Yep. Got your glasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great philosophy, though. You're right.
Yeah.
Great philosophy.
Yeah. Top Fuel Harley. Man, I'm going to tell you what, those guys that race them, those are the real men in life. Like I've raced them, but those guys that do it all the time, those things are so stinking hard to ride. They just want to throw you on the ground and run over you. The thing about them is like they're 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, and they're not supercharged. They're injected on nitromethane. That Harley Davidson engine is like about the worst designed engine that you can do. What makes it sound so amazing when you're riding your street bike, is it, and see if I can remember this correctly, but so it fires at like 320 degrees or 360, I don't remember what it is. And then it fires again at like 450 degrees. And then it takes like 3 weeks off, and then it fires again, right? So, because all that rotation. But those things, like, when you leave the line on those bikes, when we hit the throttle, all of our bikes are just like a Top Fuel car, leave from idle. So we hit the throttle. That Harley, you'll see the clutch kind of flatten out about $4,000 plus or minus. And a lot of them, they'll go across the finish line, low 6 seconds, 230 miles an hour, and they're only going like 4,800 RPM. I mean, they make almost no RPM. They're just a big, giant tractor. And it's so impressive that they're so fast. They got a slipper clutch, but they don't slip. So they can't get any speed out of it. So it's really, really impressive. Now, the downside of that is because there's no RPM gain and the slipper clutch can't slip, like my 4-cylinder bike is pretty easy to ride in the 60-foot or couple 100-foot compared to the Harley, because that thing is just locked up and it's trying to pull the front sprocket to the rear sprocket like crazy and just twisting the frame, because it's just pulling it. That's why you see all them guys going down the track like this, touching the front wheel off the ground at 200 miles an hour. But it was amazing time. I went to Mike Bonmeyer, who owned Mid-Continent Harley here. And when I was running the PMRA, I wanted to learn about the AHDR. It's All Harley Drag Race Association. Wanted to go to one of their races, see if I could learn some stuff that would help the PMRA. So I went to Mike's, asked him if I could come and crew, and he said yes. Went to Dallas with him, crewed down there. Went to Kansas City to a race. Went to Sturgis to a race. Another friend of ours, Julian Seaman, was riding that bike at the time. And then we get back, and it's the Truett and Osborne race. And the morning of the race, Mike calls me and he goes, "Hey, bring your leathers." And I was like, man, like he had one of these factory V-Rod destroyers that ran like 10 seconds. And I thought he was going to ask me if I wanted to ride it. Well, my bike went like 8 flat. I don't want to ride that thing, right? But I brought my leathers. And so he comes up to me and he goes, "You're riding the Top Fuel bike." And like my heart like jumped out of my chest, and I was like, what? And so I had watched Julian, and he was there, and he was a great help and a coach. And I'd watched Julian, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And so the first run, we go to the starting line. What I love about them bikes is you see them guys warming them up. You got a 200-pound guy like me sitting on the front tire, and here's Mike Bonmeyer with the throttle, and he's giving it a throttle whack. And here I am, 200 pounds, holding the front tire down, and it just throws me up in the air. So you're thinking, well, what's it going to do when there's not 200 pounds on the front tire? This thing's going to get after it, right? So I go up there on that first run, do the burnout, go starting line. I hit the throttle. I felt like I went about 6 miles. I think they said I went about 200 feet. And it was just like the handlebars went like this. And I'm just looking at that metal guardrail in the right-hand lane going, I'm going down. I'm going down. This thing's trying to flip over. And I shut it off. And they come back and get me. And Julian says, "What's the matter?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, what's the matter? The thing tried to kill me. It was trying to flip over and throw me on the ground and the whole 9 yards." He goes, "You were straight as a string." Because the back of the bike was straight as a string. But the front of the bike was saying all this kind of stuff. So it took me quite a while to get the hang of riding one of those things, And Mike had been 203 mile an hour, 6 seconds on that bike. And Tommy Grimes was riding the bike some at the time too. And he goes, "I don't know what to tell you. Them old guys are just like, suck it up, Buttercup, right?" And he's like, "I don't know what to tell you. Call Tommy. He can ride it." So I called Tommy and I said, "Man, it just feels like, bending over sideways, trying to throw me in the ground." And Tommy's like, "Yeah, they all do that. After it goes for a while, the frame relaxes and then you just go down the track." And I was like, "Whew, I don't know if I can work through that, but I did." And it was very fun and rewarding time.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of Bonmire's bikes. Another one, I mean, they're pretty dang cool, I don't know if you guys have got to see them run. You got to come to the Truett and Osborne race this year and check them out. They're just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one of Mike's bikes. And I put this picture in there because I won Sturgis that year. And Gary, you got a couple photos like where I'm getting off of the bike that was like the year before this. But I wanted to point out, so I posted this picture on Facebook. I don't remember when this would have been, 2008, 9, 10. And I posted it on Facebook. And a guy that I grew up with named Greg Herod, everybody's like, congratulations. And he says, who's the blondes? And I responded, what blondes? And my wife, who's home taking care of our girls, responds, good answer.
Oh, the blonde to the left and the blonde to the right.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even notice they were in the picture. But
exactly,
I didn't learn this till years later. But the girl that's on my left in the picture is Steve Torrance's wife.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yep. She was a Harley girl at the Sturgis bike drags that year.
How funny.
So who's the chick on the right?
Yeah. I have no idea. I didn't even know she was there.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So do you have those? Did you get the? Yeah, that's the same bike. That's just more time riding the Harleys.
Okay, I think this is what you're talking about here. Is this the beginning of it?
Yeah. Okay.
Woo!
Yep. So that's at Sturgis, and my buddy Kenny Thomas, when he saw the picture, he named it, and he gave it the perfect name: Chestnuts Roasting Over an Open Fire.
Yeah, you can see the fire right there.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Right next to the chestnuts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hot.
So yeah, so I actually had a little helmet cam on. I think it was a replay, kind of like a GoPro, when that happened. And somewhere on YouTube, I need to go find it. I don't remember what it's called, so it's hard to find. But there's a whole video from my helmet of when that thing blew up. And what happened was the battery got below 12 volts, and that wasn't no good. And so it exploded and lifted the heads off as soon as I hit throttle. But in that picture, you can see a couple of like little objects. I think it's right in front of above the front wheel. That's one of the head studs. Okay.
Oh,
so
man. You see it, Rod?
So it blew. See, it blew up. My brain said, not a good place to be. Got off of it, and I was off of the motorcycle before some of the shrapnel hit the ground.
Gee,
Dang,
and so they were teasing at the races that I won the award for the world's fastest top fuel Harley dismount.
Dismount.
Dismount, because I was out of there. And so I get off and I turn around and I go walking back to the water box, and Mike's girlfriend's Jody's there, and she walks right up to me and she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, bad. It's bad. I was like, oh. So,
Oh, man. Woo. That's right. Woo.
Yeah. Exciting times, though, This is more of the Joe Dirt part of this story.
In this same group of pictures, this looks like a rainstorm or something. What is this?
So that same bike, I was running it at Thunder Valley, and them Harleys are like a 40-pound jackhammer. They just, like that particular bike, I don't think the engine was balanced very good, because as soon as you would start it, we have two brake levers. We don't have a clutch lever. We have two brake levers. As soon as you would start it, the brake levers would disappear because they were vibrating so fast, you couldn't even see them. And so them things just break everything. Well, so I'd made a pass. It was dark. I think I was racing Shane Epperjesse at the time. He was on like a Nitro Suzuki. And it's, dark down there. And what happened was the oil tank, which was above the front tire, below the front fairing, got a crack in it because they just shake everything to death. They're paint shakers. And when the oil tank cracked, the oil started leaking. Well, I'm going 196 miles an hour in the dark on that pass. And so it comes up over the fairing and it's just hitting me in the windshield. So that is the oil on my windshield. So you guys with those, what are them things called? Oh, it's a windshield in your car. We don't have that. So it's on my helmet. So I'm blowing 196 mile an hour through the dark with oil completely covering me and the windscreen and everything.
Wow. Oh, wow. You can't see crap.
No kidding.
Yeah. And you got to think, that was probably like 10, 15 minutes after the run. So a lot of the oils kind of run down.
Sure.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah. Tulsa. Yeah, that's at Tulsa. I think that was one of the throwdown races, but a lot of guys on the Harleys too, that'd be like, don't have their feet on the pegs. And people are like, how do you ride without your feet on the pegs? Well, I never put my feet on the pegs until the bike would get up on the tire and get out. And you can see why, because it'll just burn your boot right off your foot.
Dang.
You know what I noticed about this picture, besides the fire and the flame and all that, was how many people are in the stands. A bunch. The stands
but
look
packed. Them throwdowns would get a lot of people.
Yes. Yep.
Good time.
And that's just part of the life, grinding them clutches. Everybody that races with the clutch, you guys are so lucky to have torque converters.
Oh yeah.
grinding our life away.
Yeah, I know a guy if you need some help with a torque converter.
Yeah, I know.
You know a guy. Known him a long time.
We designed a torque converter for the Top Fuel bike about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's about 90% done. We just never got it finished.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. And that one, see how I got my feet down?
Yeah.
Until the bike was on it. And when you're riding one of these big bikes with a big tire, we use a 14-inch tire. So like I said, wherever that tire is pointed is where it's going. Where the front tire is pointed, don't matter. You're right. And your cars are the same way if they leave with the wheels in the air.
Sure.
But you have to keep that tire flat. You can't lean these things like a motorcycle. If you try to lean like you're riding a regular motorcycle, then you load one side of the tire and then it goes the opposite direction.
Yeah,
so you can see how far. Yeah, so you can see how far I'm hanging off the side of it, but the bike's just straight as a string and ready to eat.
Yeah.
How responsive is the bike to the body input that you give it?
You have to manhandle these things. And I'm not gonna say a short, small guy can't do it, because one of the best riders ever and who rode one of the fastest Top Fuel Harleys ever was a little Japanese guy named Tak Shigematsu. Unfortunately, he just passed away recently. He was a little guy, but pound for pound, the best racer in the world, because there's no finesse. Like a pro stock bike is a finesse thing. And it's probably the same with the car. It's like people say, oh, he was behind it. Well, you can really see it on a motorcycle. If it's happening and you don't know what's happening, it's over. You're behind it. So when it makes a move, you have to feel it and be counter moving immediately. And a lot of times, like with these bikes, you got to jerk that thing or manhandle it so that you just have to judge it, how much you need to do that to keep it straight. A lot of times it's not that way. And my 4-cylinder bike is very smooth and it goes really straight. But if you spin the tire or all these other things that happen that we go through in drag racing happens, it'll really, upset it. Just like when you see the funny cars, when they put a hole out and they try to go into the wall, similar deal. So you really have to manhandle them a little bit.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my friend Red Ray from Nashville's bike. I really like that bike. That's the last Top Fuel Harley I raced at T&O about 4 years ago that I won that race. But it also, had a little bit of a magic show. I think Gary's probably got that picture coming up. That was at the NHRA US Nationals at Indy. And what happened was the exhaust rocker arm broke because this thing's got like almost a 5-inch piston in it. And, it's got a 5-inch, some of the guys have up to a 5.5-inch stroke with like a 4.7, 4.9 bore. And this is the rod out of the Top Fuel Harley. And this is a rod out of my 4-cylinder bike, which is actually a small block Chivy rod. Right?
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah. So you have this massive piston and a massive amount of cylinder pressure, and sometimes it's too hard to open the exhaust valve and it'll break the rocker arm. So if it breaks the rocker arm, now you can't get that charge out, right? But the motor's still spinning. So it loads a whole new charge in there of fresh nitro and air. And that little puff was right before that. There's me in that little orange spot. That's one of my one of my old friends took those screenshots off of the NHRA. Like, I think I made the highlight reel, right? Never for winning something, but when you do something like that, you make the highlight reel. And it just blew up. And it happened so fast, like I didn't even hardly see it. It's just a pop, but he was able to stop it. And then right after that, because we had been struggling with the bike, and then right after that, the bike's dead and I'm coasting, and I just take my hand and hit the handlebar. I'm mad, because one, we're done racing, and I want to win, or I want to do well. And I think Addison, my youngest daughter, was about 12 at the time, and I get back to the pits and look at the phone, and she sends me a picture of a screenshot of me on the ESPN where I'm hitting the handlebar. And she's like, "Dad, no temper tantrums on national TV."
Oh man,
12-year-old. No.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was expensive and not very fun, but it's a good story.
Sure.
You guys recognize that guy? You just met him a few weeks ago.
That Big Daddy.
Awesome.
The Big Daddy. So I was racing that same Red Ray's bike, and we were at Gainesville, and this was during COVID. You can tell I got the scarf around my neck for the mask. And of course, Garlitz, he ain't wearing no mask for nothing. He's been through it all. And I'm just at the back of the trailer. Working, and he's got his booth set up there and selling his stuff, and this little walk-through museum in the trailer, and Shirley's got her deal set up, and Don's got his little camper parked right behind our trailer. I mean, he's 90 years old. He needs to go take a nap every once in a while, right? So I'm just back there working, and I had met him one time before, but I know he didn't know who I was. And he just comes right to me. He goes, "Did I ever tell you how I got into drag racing?" And I'm kind of looking around like, who's talking to me? And I'm like, holy crap, it's Big Daddy.
That was great.
And he was like, how I got into drag racing was my stepdad was an accountant. Yep. And my mom wanted me to work at the accounting firm. But I was into cars. And I was working there in the mail room of the accounting place. But, it wasn't what I wanted to do. And he said, my stepdad, called him into the office or whatever, had to talk with him. And he said, I'm going to have a talk with your mom tonight. I'm going to tell her that you don't need to be working here. I can see that you have a real passion for cars. And I'm going to tell your mom that I think that that's what you should be doing. I'm like, amazing. Wow. I'm just out of nowhere. He just tells me this story. I mean, I'm sure he's told it a million times.
Sure.
But
yeah,
we
heard it too.
So I had that. That's like in March at the Gator Nationals, and then that same year, Steve Johnson, Pro Stock Motorcycle Racer, runs my Monster 4-valve cylinder head on his Pro Stock bike. And Steve had an amazing year the first year that he ran it, and he went into the finals at Pomona like in second place, like had a real shot of winning the championship. And I'm like, I'm going out there because I want to be there if he wins. And I went out there. He didn't win, but it was fun. But on the way home, I get upgrade to first class because I still have a lot of miles from when I traveled all over the world, with the CNC machine business. And so I get upgrade, and I'm in the front seat in first class. Everybody's on the plane, and then here comes this little lady dragging ass, last one on the plane. They're trying to get her to put her bag up in the deal. She's arguing with them. She don't want to put the bag up in the deal. And she's like, there's $3,000 cash in there. I'm not putting it up there. It's like literally 5 feet from where she's going to sit. She sits right next to me. It's Shirley Muldowney. Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I get Don Garlitz at Gainesville, and I just said hi to her. She's not real talkative, but it was a really awesome thing to have both those people in that year, on the end of the year and the beginning of the year.
Oh, wow. Couple legends.
Wow. Yeah.
Is this
this was when So when I first met Don, when I started racing the 4-cylinder bike, we've had so many killer opportunities. We've done like Night of Fires and all kinds of stuff. And we did this Night of Fire at Eddyville, Iowa, which is awesome. It's one of the best things that we've ever done. Track owners are amazing. Fans are amazing. But this was the second year that we did it, and Don Garlitz was there. He didn't race, but he had his car in his museum. And I get a copy of the flyer, and I'm like, wait a minute. It's got Don, Big Daddy Don Garlitz's name and my name on the same flyer. Like I never imagined in my life that would happen. Is that crazy?
That is awesome.
That is
just crazy. Yeah. So that's a prized possession.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Addison, my youngest daughter. That was the T&O race I talked about, the last one we won with Red's bike. He did a great job tuning the bike. That Wichita track was really hard to get down on a bike that's that fast. And he did an amazing job. He just kept taking power out of it all day long, and we just kept getting quicker.
Heck yeah.
So that's my 4-cylinder bike.
Wow.
Dennis Bradley originally had the bike built from Sam Wheels, and we've been partners in the bike for a while now. It's one of the early stages of it. It's like a top fuel car. It's supercharged on nitromethane. We run 90% nitro and 60 degrees of static timing. We have a clutch cannon just like a top fuel car. We use an all-valve fuel system like a top fuel car. And it's 1,500 cc's, makes 1,500 horsepower and 1,500 foot-pounds of torque.
Woo! Man.
That is awesome.
That's incredible.
That's Sam Wills. When you walked into the main room there at Don Garlitz's museum, not very many people see it because you're just amazed by everything that you're looking to the right. But to the left, there's a top fuel drag bike there, and it's got Sam Will's name on it. He rode that bike since the 70s, and he's also a huge mentor of mine. He's the reason that I got into top fuel motorcycle racing. He built that whole bike originally for Dennis. He's just one of them old school magic machinists. He made the pulleys, he made the chassis, he made the motor plates. I mean, the fuel cell, all that stuff, and all the things that he's done and been to us. Feel very fortunate to have those kind of guys in my life.
Wow.
So that's me and Sam at Eddyville, running down there with got them big candles going. Top fuel motorcycles, such a unique sound. People are like, they don't even know what it is. There's so few of us. There's only about 8 active motorcycles on the continent. So most people have never seen one or heard one.
Yeah.
The story on the 4-cylinder is pretty similar to riding the Top Fuel Harley the first time. I went to Valdosta. I wasn't racing that year. I'd raced Mike's Top Fuel Harley the year before. I walked into the hotel. Sam was there. And I'm like, hey, I'm by myself. Are you guys going to dinner? Can I go with you? I'll pay my own way, blah, blah, blah. He's like, sure, go put your bag in the room, come back. I come back. He introduces me to Mike Dryden, which was the partner in his bike at the time. And Dennis Bradley's bike was there. I'd seen Dennis's bike. I'd built some parts for it when I'd go down to Sam's shop. It was there. It didn't have any plumbing or wiring on it. He said, did you see the bike? I said, yeah, looks good. And he said, did you see Dennis? And I said, yeah, I think so. And he said, well, we don't know if he's going to be able to ride the bike or not. So we just don't know. But if he can't or doesn't want to ride the bike, would you be interested in riding the bike? And even if I rode Harley for 10 years, I'm like, them bikes are crazy. No way I'm riding one of those bikes. And my brain said no, and my lips said, okay. And I basically and I said, Sam, I was like, same thing. And I was like, Sam, I said, if you teach me and the opportunity does come up, then I'd give it a try. And then so that next year, like I went racing with Sam and Mike and met Dennis, and we all became friends. And I think Sam was really working behind the scenes to get Dennis and I together, because Dennis had the bike, but he really needed help, just to run the bike and all that. And we've had an amazing, we've done so much cool stuff. I feel very fortunate that all that happened. Now, of course, they told me in the beginning, do you want to be the rider? And I was like, like I'm going to fly in on a private jet, kiss babies and sign autographs? Well, I didn't realize I was going to do all the work and maintenance and drive the truck and trailer, but I'm happy to do it. It was a blessing to get to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Can you see, I wanted to send that picture. Do you see the heat signature of the bike? Comes out of that little motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Always thought that was really cool.
Yes.
I mean, of course, you see and that was, that would have been like, so I kind of told myself that I would race till I'm about 50 years old, and then probably I'll quit racing, and that was my 50th birthday. I won the Man Cup World Finals on my 50th birthday. And at the time, I was the youngest Top Fuel 4-cylinder motorcycle racer in the U.S. and maybe in the world. I don't know, some of the European guys and other guys. And I was like, all the guys, like, Sam was in his late 60s. Larry McBride turned 69 like this month. Chris Hand is 72 or 3 now. And I was like, well, shit, if all them guys are still racing, I can do this for a few more years,
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir.
Well, still going. I don't know how many more years I got, but still going.
Yeah. Hey, Mitch,
long ways to go.
How long is that motorcycle, just from like axle to axle, not the wheelie bar?
Well, let me measure it. I don't know.
Oh.
Live in action.
Looks long, as with with all the people standing there and stuff,
Yeah.
Gotta be.
What's your guess, Rod? What do you guess? What do you guess?
11 feet. 11 feet.
What'd you think?
11 feet.
It's 107 inches, and I do remember probably less.
It's longer.
Listen, Rod, when we got Neil's old body and we had that guy build the chassis for it, he called me and he goes, I got the front wheel stretched out as far as I can, the back wheel stretched out as far as I can. He goes, oh yeah, I know. They used to call him the Wild Man Chance. And he goes, no, it's really short. And he goes, and I said, how short is it? And he goes, 99 inches.
Oh, wow.
Like that thing, 8 inches shorter than my motorcycle. But see, when Neil built that car, he probably saw National Dragster and he saw pictures of California funny cars, but he didn't realize that they were stretching the body and making a 120-inch wheelbase. He just built his the same wheelbase as a 69 Corvette was, because that's what they were pulling the body panels off of.
Right.
Wow.
Mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's funny. Here we go.
Yeah. So I saw that's Rob Oberg from Australia. I just wanted to tell you guys, like, and a lot of people that may be listening, they probably went to bed by now, right? But I feel very blessed. I got to travel a lot in the U.S. and abroad. One of my Monster Race Products customers in Australia, Trevor Burrell, great friend, talked to him 2 days ago. He had bought several heads for some of the Pro Stock bikes there. And one day he called me up on the phone and he said, "Hey, mate," he said, "I was talking to our sponsor, Clint, and he's keen on bringing you to the Winners." And I go, "What'd you say?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, mate." He goes, "I talked to Clint Myers, our sponsor, and he's happy to pay your way to come to the Winter Nationals here in Australia. It's like your Pomona Winter Nationals."
Oh.
I looked at the phone and I said, "What did you say?" And he said, "Yeah, mate." He said, just figure out what a plane ticket will cost. And it was like 9 months in advance, you know. And so walked in, told Angela, my wife, you know, "You're not going to believe what happened." And so I kind of looked, and it was about $2,000 for a ticket, you know. And so he calls a few days later, "Hey, mate, did you get the look?" And I said, "Yeah, but, you know, it's like $2,000. And he goes, I think that'll be all right." And so then, like a couple days later, I get a notice when I wake up my phone that there's $2,000 put in my account from, you know, the sponsor guy. And I'm like, "Shit, I guess I'm going to Australia."
Yes,
So
you gotta go.
yeah. So I went. It was amazing. They do like a week of testing before the race, and then they do the race the next weekend. The way I describe Australia is like Willowbank, where that racetrack is kind of about, I don't know, where I'd say maybe Philadelphia or Virginia is in the United States, you know, upper east. Now everything's upside down there. And then you got Sydney, or you got gosh, I can't remember the other one, on the other side. It's like a big giant desert all between. And then down south is Adelaide. And it's about like where Houston would be, but there's no Mexico below it. So it's on the coast. So I go over there, and then we fly down to Adelaide to Trevor's shop and spend a few days there. And they take me to the wildlife place where the kangaroos and the koala bears are. But the best part, there's me and the koala bear. And the best part was the sponsor, Clint Myers. We're best friends. I mean, I'm so happy to, I just met this guy on this random trip there. We just hit it off and had an amazing, great time. And he's been a sponsor and helped us over the years. But the best day was that first day they picked me up in Sydney, and they were taking us to the hotel. And he was like, "Hey, mate, I got to stop and get my dad and his mate at the ladies club." At the ladies club. And this is like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, "Well, how old's your dad?" "Oh, he's like 72. And I'm like, "Wow, can't wait to meet this guy, 72 years old, and him and his buddy are at the ladies club at 11 o'clock at night, you know?" So we're talking in the car the whole way. Ladies club. He's saying ladies club. I'm saying ladies club. And so we get there and we go in, and I have to become a member. Right. So I got to pay $1. They paid $1 for me, and I had to get a membership card. And we go in, and I'm like, "So they look like the ladies club in the United States." You know, there was like gambling machines and like a dining hall. And we kind of cut to the right, and there's like a sports bar kind of place. And I'm like, "Dude, are you sure this is the ladies club?" And he goes, "Yeah, mate." And what he was saying was the leagues club. And, we're riding in the car, and the difference in the accents. And he was saying the leagues club. And the leagues club is kind of like a cross between the VFW and the Shriners, so it's just a whole bunch of old guys with gambling machines and sports cars. So then when we get to the racetrack the next day, all the motorcycle guys are like, "How was the ladies club last night, Mitch Brown?" Because they've already told the story.
Oh, man.
And I mean, the Australian guys, I have so many friends from there and customers, but when you're in this deal, like most of your customers are friends, and I have lots of, the Australians are crazy. So a lot of Top Fuel Harley guys from Australia and man, and if you ever get a chance to go, it's so cool. It's when I went in 2019, it was kind of like watching drag racing here in the 80s. I mean, crowds were huge. It was big spectacle, and everybody was so nice. It was just wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. So I think that was from the first race I won on my 50th birthday. And so a guy was interviewing me, motorcycle magazine guy, Tim Haley. And, of course, they dumped Larry McBride is standing there, and he knows this is my first big win. And so he wants to do something memorable. I go back and I can watch on Tim's video, and Larry's standing back there, and he's seen kind of like his wheels are turning. So he gets a beer and he goes and dumps a beer on my head in my leathers, my brand new $2,000 leathers, dumps that in there, because he wanted it to be memorable for me. Okay. And so then they doused me with the water, which probably helped get the beer out of my leathers, but now my leathers are so. But what was so awesome was in the video, you can see Larry's crew guy, Chuck Stewart, in the background behind me. It's all to my back. And he's, Larry, come here, Larry. And you see Larry run behind me. And then they get that cooler, and then they run up behind me and they toss the cooler of water on me. It's all about the only reason I do all this work, and I'm going to say it's probably similar for you guys, is these moments, the memories, the people, the things that we've got to do. And kind of like my point with some of those last pictures was, you can choose to do the hard stuff, and it's hard to do the hard stuff. And sometimes it's very rewarding to do the hard stuff, but you got to take a chance. You got to ask, and you got to go, like me asking Mike Bonmeyer if I could go to that race. I would have never rode a nitro bike if I didn't ask him if I could just tag along and be a crew guy. And so much of that has just been a big part of my life.
Yep.
This gives me an idea the next time Rodney wins a race.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh man.
And that there is same thing. That's Dennis Bradley in the front. So this is what we call racetrack margarita picture. That's my whole team. Todd, Nick. I can't even see who all's in there, but you guys know the moments. We didn't win anything that day. We worked really hard. It was super hot. Dusty Warner right there in the front. We just had a lot of fun.
Yep. Man, look at that.
Yeah. So that's a little bit. Yeah. That's me and Chris Hand. So I think that was the last event ever at Memphis. We raced Top Fuel Motorcycle with Midwest Drag Race Association in 2022. And I think that was the last race there. And that was me in the left lane, Chris Hand at like 72 years old in the right lane. And look at those things. They're just trying to do everything they can, but go straight,
Kill you. Incredible.
Yeah. That racetrack margarita deal made me thirsty.
Oh, temperate beverage. I got water.
Yeah, that's my youngest daughter, Addison, and she's the one that played softball and just got done playing college softball in St. Louis. And she came to. It's really hard for the girls to come to the races, and when kids are growing up, they're busy. They got all their sports and music theater and dance and stuff, and they don't get to come very much. But she got to come. That was in 2024 and 2025. We did 4 NHRA national events, and that was in Virginia. So I'm all suited up, and that's her giving me the "don't suck, Dad" speech. Because she's so competitive. Being a college softball player, and she's just giving me the, you get out there and kick ass, don't take no shit from nobody, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
Wonder where she gets it from, right?
Her mom.
Her mom, huh?
Right.
That's great.
You know what that is? That's a surviving one weekend at the racetrack.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Gatorade,
right.
water. Man.
Right. Yeah. I tell everybody, like, listen, this thing eats $1,000 bills, right? Like, bring me a couple cases of water and a couple cases of Gatorade if you can. You know, I'll take anything. This thing just eats it all.
Yep.
That's right.
We got a little place we go to in the when we take out and fill the coolers just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is Tulsa. Look at that.
Yeah. I think that's one of the throwdowns late at night, but I just, you know, love that picture, all the flame coming out of it. You know, the exhaust pipes are 5 foot long, and then that's another probably 5, 6, 7 feet above that. You know, it's just it's always the whole. I tell everybody, a Top Fuel motorcycle and probably all race cars, it's just a giant science experiment. You know, the weather, the track conditions, the chemicals, and the ignition timing, all of that is just a big giant science project trying to make it work.
If you never got into the bikes like this, would you be racing cars competitively, do you think?
You know, I always liked sprint cars. You know, I'd go to sprint car races out in Dodge City when I worked on the farm. Really liked it. I'm probably too big to do that. You know, I think things just happen to us, right? Like, you know, why do you race a Ford, Rod? Because that was your first car, or you worked at Rusty Egg back in the day, or I mean,
when I graduated.
I think I've done it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think this is my 39th year drag racing motorcycles, and at this point, I've just done it so long, I don't even know what else I would have done. I would have been rich. I know that.
Jeez.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man.
It's definitely your identity. You know, everybody knows you for the bikes.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that. I mean, you know, it's good, and it's a big part of my life. It has been for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you also on the racing side, when you opened up your business, you know, that's the racing too with the bikes and everything, you know?
Yeah. People used to tell me, oh, you should open a motorcycle shop. You know, I was like, oh, I don't want to make my passion my business. And then, you know, just like you guys, I mean, you make stuff and weld stuff, and we have to do stuff all the time, right? To make stuff work and fit. And so I just, you know, had this idea that I wanted to build this billet engine case, no machining experience, nothing. And my wife's uncle, Carl Dickerson, and her husband, Bert, from the famous Bert and Ernie bike, they had a machine shop in Colorado. And so they were helping us, and we started building this engine case. And then that, you know, kind of fizzled out. It was too much money to do. And then I started working on that engine case again. And I was down in Americus, Georgia with George Price, and we were hanging out at the little bar at the Hotel Windsor that I stayed there. And I told him that I was working on building that engine case again with Steve Britton at Absolute Dimensions. And he was like, man, why are you doing that? You know? And I said, well, you know, because he's like, nobody races that engine anymore, really, not very many guys. And I was like, well, I thought about building like a cylinder head that used like the technology from the new Suzuki Hayabusa, like the tappets where the cam lobe just pushes a bucket on the spring down, because we used to use like a finger follower or a short rocker arm, and there was so many problems with that. And so I kind of had these ideas, and George just scratched it out on a napkin, and which I have hanging on the wall, and said, put this in CAD. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I know people. So another friend of mine owned Automated Aircraft Tooling here in town. They're the ones that originally did that model for the billet engine case. And that's where the name Monster came from. Terry Flory was the design engineer that was doing that. And he's building it, and he's working on the model. And he says, he puts in the model Monster case. He goes, this thing's a monster compared to the stock one. And it just kind of stuck. And that's where Monster Race Stock came from. And some people were like, well, somebody told me years ago, aren't you worried about getting sued by Monster Energy? And I'm like, no, because I don't have anything that they would want to sue me for. But I did look, and Monster Race Products started in 1998 and Monster Energy drinks started 2003. So maybe I should sue them, right?
There you go.
Some of that money.
Head to the beach, retire.
Lifetime.
And then, it just kind of took off from there. Like the first 10 cylinder heads Steve made, that was 2008. Remember, the aerospace market died, the housing market died.
Right. Guys
didn't have stuff to do. So I had Stan's guys do the head model. And of course, they said it was going to cost $2,000. I think I paid like $8,800 for the model. And granted, I didn't even own a Suzuki motorcycle. So here I'm spending all this money for a cylinder head. I don't own a machine. I'm not a machinist. I don't have this engine. This is how stupid I am. And so then Steve Britton was willing to do the machining. He was like, oh, it'd be like a couple grand for tooling. Of course, that was way off, by the time we all got through it. He lost a bunch of money on it too. But we didn't really have anything else going on. But then as they got busier and aerospace started coming back, then it took a long time. It took like 2.5 years to get the first one machined. And that's when I met Niles Gibson. You guys might know Niles. He was Marty's programmer for the last 7 years or so, the redheaded guy. And he worked for Steve Britton, and he was doing the programming, and Terry was doing the modeling. And I had introduced the two together. Well, guess what? The guys at Automated said, hey, that Niles kid is pretty smart. And they offered him a job. So he quit Steve Britton and went up there. And I was like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble. This is the only guy at Absolute that knows anything about my cylinder head. Right. So I bought my own machine, which is one that I actually sold to Marty, and a used machine. Marty wanted a smaller machine. So I bought that, put it in somebody else's shop. And Niles and I went down there, and redid it. Like he'd already made like 13 heads, but we redid it, made a few changes, started doing it. He's teaching me how to run a CNC 5-axis mill. Never running a mill in my life other than a Bridgeport. First thing I do is that cylinder head, which I'm kind of pushing the buttons. It really was Niles did all the programming and showed me how to do it where I could run them. But I learned a tremendous amount, and you can imagine how much I learned from George Bryce at the time about why port shape and what's important and all these things. And it was an amazing experience. And then I ended up, with Monster Race Products from that. And I've really done that full time for like the last 12 years. I mean, I still have BlackRock Machinery that sells CNC machines, but I only do like some used stuff. And then this last year, I built the whole motor for my bike, from the oil pan, the engine case, the cylinder, and the cylinder head. Heikki that has chimed in a couple times from Finland. Like I said, he's a professor basically at a college in Finland, and I can't even tell you what all that he does. But like they had a lot of the input. George Bryce had a lot of the input. Yeah, that's one of the cylinder heads. It started 100 pounds and then it's 19.9 pounds for a pro stock version when it's done.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just a bunch of stuff that I make.
Kind of tough to see.
Go ahead, Gary.
Just all this in that little picture, probably kind of tough to see all these little parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's like the blower plenum. Mm-hmm. So, between the supercharger and the cylinder head, that's another design that Heikki and Antti did in Finland. And then now it's nice. The green, black, and the gray are 3D printed. So like I can look at the model and I can look at any dimension in the model, but it's hard to really know how it's going to fit. So it's so nice now to be able to print it, put it on the bike, and make sure it works. Well, I guess I could do this. We tried this earlier, right?
Here we go.
Yeah. There we go. So like we 3D printed the whole cylinder head And I actually put it on the bike. I mean, this is that tap that I talked about. It goes on the spring, and the cam lobe just goes, pushes the cam spring down. There's a part of the valve cover that we 3D printed. And, I could put it, I could rotate the cams in it. I could put it on the bike and fit it up to make sure, everything was fit. And we had to make some changes multiple times, so there's the aluminum head, but you can see how tight. There's the plenum that's in between the supercharger and the cylinder head. But everything is so tight. There's not much room for anything. So it's just really nice to be able to 3D print all that stuff now and do it. Wow. So here's one of the complete motors. Like I said, so I make the pan, the engine case. I can't see very good on my camera, so I hope I'm showing you the cylinder head, the valve cover, and, other parts.
Oh, that's incredible.
It is.
Oh, P1, do that. P1.
Yeah. Got my P1 studs in there. Yeah, those guys are great to work with. I mean, Matt's awesome. They're all pretty cool. You guys have seen the bike before, but like I said, it's just kind of like a top fuel car. Yeah. I actually use a breathing air bottle because the fumes are so bad. When I went to the Fuel Tech ignition over the Magneto, I left the year we went to Fuel Tech, every time that I hit the throttle, my eyes were closed that year because the fumes were so bad. Now, as soon as the bike takes off and it clears up, I could see. But I had to put a fresh air deal on like a funny car guy does because the fumes were so bad. And the only thing that we can figure is it's burning more than nitro, because nitro doesn't make fumes if it's not burning, So then we have, pulley on the crank. I make all these pulleys now for the supercharger. Dave at Marty Chance's place helps me with some more of the lathe stuff. Cylinder head's on backwards compared to a conventional motorcycle. Mainly they did that so they'd have the room for the supercharger up in the front. 14-inch tire. You guys have seen that chain,
It's
big enough to
at the open house.
You can turn a combine header with that thing, yeah.
That's right.
And this is the clutch accumulator, just like a top fuel car. So all the fluid for the clutch cannon goes in and out of that. Mm-hmm. And of course, clutch inside of here, drive pulleys, That's pretty much it. This is where most of the problems happen, from here to here. And the thing that goes in between, the guy holding, that's where most of the problems are.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mitch, how much does that weigh?
My bike's pretty light. It weighs 850 pounds.
Oh, man.
So with me, it's about 1,065 or something like that. Whereas Larry, the Spider-Man McBride's bike, I think weighs 1,200 or more. Wow. But I mean, it's also the quickest and fastest motorcycle in the world. But like we have more power than we can use. You guys probably have more power than you can use at certain parts of the track, like the starting line and stuff, right? So the weight doesn't matter as much for us. But what we do need is you have to have a super heavy, sturdy chassis. All these parts have to be bulletproof because the nitro just wants everything to blow up, So if it was lighter, it would be quicker, but it would probably be a lot tougher to ride.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like a flexi flyer.
Yeah.
Incredible machinery, man.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. There's a cam chain broken. Same thing. Like I didn't even see the flash, but we could stop the cell phone video and see it. So,
wow. When when you're at the track racing and you go around, what is your between round maintenance like?
Yeah. So if nothing's hurt, the first thing we do is, we drop the oil because, just like with a methanol engine, the nitro gets in the oil real bad. So we drop the oil. First thing we do is Nick leaks the motor to see if it's hurt. And then after that, we let it cool down. We have to take the backbone of the chassis off and take the valve cover off. And we have to check our valve lash. And remember, I just showed you that little tappet. So that tappet, the bucket, sits on the retainer and the spring, and it has little shims underneath of it. And that's how we adjust valve clearance. But top fuel cars will stretch the valves a lot. And we stretch valves sometimes. Or the seats get pounded in. So our valve lash changes frequently. And we run a big valve lash because of that. So we have to check that valve lash every run to make sure that we didn't lose our lash and we got a hole open, right? On the exhaust side, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but if you leave an intake valve open and backfires the wrong way, it's going to be a big problem. So we do that, we retorque the head, and if everything else is good, that's fine. But when we quarter-mile race, sometimes, like the most I've ever had was 3 engines at a time. Larry McBride, because he's been doing it for 47 years, obviously he can amass a lot more parts. He has, I think, 8 or 9 engines. He literally would put an engine in every run. And we've had races like last year at Brainerd at the NHRA National event. I put 3 motors in 3 runs because we were melting stuff and it wasn't good. But we can do a motor swap in about 45 minutes. And so that's pretty good for us because we have to take quite a bit of it apart to get it out, that whole primary drive system. And this is the main reason, like when we race quarter mile, what happens is the bike basically runs out of fuel. Like we have a tank that holds about 4.5 gallons, but it's kind of a phenomenon. Everybody's built baffles in their tanks and all this, but if we go quarter mile, it seems like when you shut off, parachutes out, all the reverse G's, what little bit of fuel that's left in the tank goes to the front of the tank, and the fuel pump sucks a big air bubble, and the engine dies. Well, that's no big deal, except for we have these little 7mm stem valves, and can you see?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got a picture one. So what happens is, as the only way the valve gets heat out of it is when it's touching the seat and it gets into the head, which is the heat sink, right? So when the motor just stops and it's Inconel, but it's just glowing, it just drops and droops. Wow. And so it might tear up the guide. If the big bend is going to go in the guide, it's going to tear up the guide. But and this is kind of an extreme one, but sometimes it's better to just change the engine and then go fix the head and put a valve in it later than it is to pull the head off and try to put a valve in and stuff like that. So sure. 1,000-foot racing and the 8th mile racing, definitely a lot better on the pocketbook just for the damage and time and things like that.
Yeah.
That's a question. Mark Westmoreland says just what you said there. What do you prefer, Mitch, 8th mile or quarter mile or 1,000 foot?
I mean, I love it all, but I could not be racing right now if we weren't 8th mile racing. I just couldn't afford it. And the quarter mile racing is awesome, but it's, like I said, right now I only have 2 engines. So I got a lot of flack in the beginning because we only had 2 engines when we originally started. So I had to make a lot of short runs in qualifying, and people are like, oh, he won't hold the throttle open or whatever. I was doing that because I can't, destroy both motors before first round. I don't even get to go to the dance if I hurt them both. And really tuning the bike, I know the majority of it in the first 300 feet. I definitely know the majority of it in the 8th mile. After that, it's just, there's some tuning to it, but it's really just eating itself after that. So I mean, if I had a big sponsor and all the money, I would only want a quarter-mile race. But most of the guys in my class are like me. They're guys that own a one-man business. Most of them own motorcycle shops. None of us have a lot of money, and we just really can't afford to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really the answer to it.
Good.
Great answer.
And I think, you know, I see all the old heads, oh, you know, blah, 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 quarter mile. I mean, think about it. Top fuel cars went 345 miles an hour this weekend in the 1,000-foot. Gary Selsey was at the track, and he was mind blown. They had him in the booth, and he was mind blown, you know, because he went like 320 or 330 in the quarter. And here's Gary Selsey, top, you know, probably one of the best guys. They won a lot. And he was like, I can't imagine going that fast. So you couldn't race top fuel cars quarter mile. One, nobody could afford to do it. Two, all the drivers would be dead after the second race.
Oh, man.
Quarter mile tracks were designed in the 50s and the 60s. And, you know, they go, those guys go 300 miles an hour in the 8th, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
So, and you probably saw when we were at the IHRA race, my good buddy Larry, you know, he unfortunately came off his bike 210 miles an hour. And he, you know, it's a testimony to who he is and what he does. And, you know, he's 68 years old. He works out all the time. He's amazing health. I probably wouldn't have survived that jump off as well as he did. But, you know, he's been 268 miles an hour in the quarter mile.
Jeez.
And that would not be something that you would probably survive falling off.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, he's a lot faster than all the rest of us. But, you know, people are concerned. He's had an amazing career and nobody wants to see him get hurt, you know, at the twilight of his life just to set one more record. And he already has set them all.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we saw that back and how the air caught his leathers and
kind of pulled him off, didn't it?
Yeah. He did an amazing job, you know, and everybody says, like, you know, he was really trying to get that handlebar. You know, remember sticking your hand out the window as you were a kid?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He was going at least 190 miles an hour probably the majority of the time. He was trying to get that handlebar. It was impressive.
Yeah.
And then he realized he wasn't going to get it, so he just said, I'm going to come off. I'm going to protect my hands, and I'm going to try to slide and not tumble. You know, if you can slide, you can kind of flip and rotate. But if you get sideways and you tumble, that's when you start breaking everything.
Ouch, man.
No, you did. Anything else, Gary?
Yeah, we should probably work on wrapping this up. We're pretty.
Yeah, did we set a record for going too late or what?
I think we definitely set a length record.
Yeah. But like we talked about before too, Mitch, we want to give you the opportunity to come on here and just thank the people who helped you along the way, sponsors, family, friends, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many, and you know, I mean, you guys know, just can't do it without the support of your family and friends and all the people that help along the way. I've had so many, I had to make a list. You know, J.R. Sandlin is an amazing guy. You know, a lot of us have known him for a long time, and he's really had, like most of our lives, he's been all the way at the top and all the way at the bottom. And he is just one of the most generous, caring guys. You know, he's a big, gruff guy and all that. But, man, I mean, look how many people he helps sponsor, dirt track, kids, drag racing. I mean, he's helped me for on and off for probably over 10 years. So very thankful for him. My buddy George Rice at Star Racing, MTC Engineering, Fuel Tech, my buddy Scott Truitt at Truitt Roofing. He's a national champion nitro Harley racer and helps me out. My buddy Clint Myers, I talked about from Australia. Pengrade Oil, you know, I've been using their oil forever. They just, you know, made a lot of trips to the booth there at PRI, never asked for anything. Talked to them. They were always curious about me, the engines I built. Finally, the opportunity came up. They're helping me. I'm very grateful for that. I mean, you know, we use 50 gallons of oil a year in that little motorcycle. We're running 4 or 5 times a year. BPM out of Florida, Ron Reese, BPM Ron Reese do all my head work. My mom, I mean, she's been sponsoring me since 1970. You know, last year she gave me a chunk of cash to help us get the races. She bakes homemade chocolate chip cookies for the team. I have to hide them or they'll eat them all the first day.
Oh, man.
They're so good.
That's right. I'm going to look
Sam
for
Wheel, Pingle Enterprises. Yep. Schnitz Racing, Pingle Enterprises, Brock's, Richie's Tires, Mile High Crankshaft. I don't know if you guys know him. Dave Olson at Mile High. He's an awesome guy. He's a motorcycle racer. Him and his wife both race. I mean, he does beautiful work. We run Windberg cranks. They don't repair our cranks anymore. Dave's awesome. He helps me out. I'm so happy to have him. Strategic Health Solutions, you know, Scott and Tiffany Linker. You know, Scott was on earlier. They helped me out last year. I think they're going to help me a little bit in the future. Their daughter, Chelsea, used to babysit my kids when they were little, you know, and it's just kind of like the family. Like she just got married, and I was texting with Scott right before she got married and just talking about, you know, the kids growing up and all the things they did. And let's see, Worldwide Bearing, Fire Core, Spark Plugs, AP, Mickey Thompson, and PR Factory. They've helped me out for years and years and years. I mentioned Niles Gibson and Hakey programming and modeling, Tulsa Raceway Park. Obviously, Todd and I are buddies. You guys know that. You see us together all the time. Yeah. Todd was a motorcycle racer 30 years ago. That's how we met. So thankful to have him. One of my other big sponsors, don't tell Todd, but is his wife, Sherry. She owns a company called, it's called Sherry's Underground Sweatshop. And she does like all my embroidered monster shirts and hats. Like she makes me so much stuff that Todd's jealous because she'll make Todd like one shirt. She'll make me like 5 different ones, makes them for Angela and the girls and all this. Yeah. So thankful for that. You know, and then people that I've just raced with all my life, like Steve Churchman. He's a guy that he's a Vietnam vet. He raced with us years ago. He knew that I was going through a tough time. He bought me a big chunk of my diesel fuel last year. I could not have made it to the races without him, guys like that. Of course, Steve and Larry McBride that I talked about, the King of the Sport, 2 brothers. I mean, they helped me tremendously. They helped me with some parts. They helped me with a lot of knowledge. You know, couldn't do anything without those guys. Keith Mitchell, you guys probably know him. He helps me with the fuel deal a little bit. And Jones Brothers Racing, some guys that I raced with when I raced 990, and they give me a little money here and there. And they come to Virginia to the race. They came to Ohio. They surprised me at Virginia at the NHRA National, you know, and then they came to Ohio when we won the IHRA race. And I just feel so stinking blessed to have that all those people in my life that care enough about what me and my team are doing to help.
Yeah.
That's great.
Man, well said. Well done. Well done.
You said you wanted to talk about this Truett and Osborne deal a little bit.
Yep.
Kansas National
So the first drag bike race I ever went to was in 1987, Arc City, the Truett and Osborne bike drags. My buddy Scott Truett's dad, Bonnie Truett, who was a nitro racer in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and his partner, Paul Osborne, owned Truett and Osborne Cycle. And they founded this race 54 years ago. And Paul, I think, was 86 years old when we had the 50th anniversary. And he was done. And gosh, I mean, God bless him. I mean, it is the longest running all motorcycle race in the world. And Scott decided he wanted to take over the race to keep it going, to keep his dad and Paul's legacy alive. And so, you know, with me having 17 years of experience at the PMRA, I help him with that. We had a great race last year at Wichita. I mean, we had a good turnout. I think we had 200 Banditos Motorcycle Club members that came in and came into the deal, and they're all cool and hang out. They're all the clubs are big into nitro Harley racing, but that's coming up end of August, 29th and 30th. So if you get a chance, come out. It's something different. You'll definitely have a good time, see some cool stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. 54 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. We got some really cool pictures of, in the early years. And so my friend Sam Wills that I had the picture with, I told you rode the bike in the Garlitz Museum. Sam told me the story of him in like the early 80s. He was up here in Wichita and he was riding his blown 4-cylinder against, I think it was Marion Owens on his double engine nitro Harley. And I think Marion broke. I mean, those double engine Harleys, good grief, just everything would break. But whatever, I think he broke. But Sam goes flipping down the track, fast as he can go. And he comes back down, they tow him back down the return road. And everybody in the pits is like, are you all right? Are you all right? Are you okay? And Sam's like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? What's the matter? He goes, they were throwing beer bottles at you as you were going down the track and trash and everything. Because the damn rice burner was going to win the Harley Drex. So, yeah. What a blessing to hear all those stories from all those guys that have been doing it so long.
No kidding. Wow. Well, it was a blessing to hear your stories, and I know you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really do.
Yes.
Wow.
It's just been a great.
You guys better clock out and go to bed because I heard Gary say he gets up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
4 a.m.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on tonight and tell us your stories. A lot of great memories, and I'll watch this back 2 or 3 times tomorrow. Just get more.
Oh detail.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Have a good rest of the year. I'm sure I know I'll see you, but I'll see you at PRI again too. So
yeah, we'll see you. We don't have a lot scheduled, after the IHRA deal, and probably don't have time to get into that, but that's all right. I need to rebuild some finances, and we'll do some testing in the fall, and we'll be ready to go.
Sounds great.
Okay. Man, Mitch, your stories were great.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It was exciting to hear your stories, and it was fun to hear a different type of racing and hear what you had to say and the stories to tell. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you. I think this is the part in Joe Dirt where they said, hey, can you come back tomorrow and tell some more stuff?
That's exactly right.
Oh, man, that's great.
Who was he looking for? What was Joe Dirt's girlfriend's name? Remember, he was looking for her.
Was he llooking for him? Oh, golly.
I think it was Jamie Presley that played him.
Yeah.
She was the hot girl that Kid Rock was a new boyfriend.
Right.
He was trying to find her. Yeah.
She don't want you, Dirt.
Right.
Don't want you around.
She don't want you around, Dirt.
I feel, I used to say I'm the Forrest Gump of motorcycle drag racing, except for the gazillionaire part. But now I kind of feel like I'm closer. I'm kind of closer to the Joe Dirt of the motorcycle drag racing.
Yeah. Here's long hair.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
All
You're
right,
fitting good around here, Mitch. Hey, thanks a lot, man. We will see you around.
Thank you.
Brandy.
Okay.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Brandy.
Right.
Yeah. So tomorrow, tune in tomorrow, and we're going to find Brandy.
Oh, my goodness. That's hilarious. Mitch, thanks a ton, man. We will talk to you later.
See you, buddy.
Go to bed. See you later.
Wow, Rodney.
Oh, my goodness. Woo!
Oh, I bet we could have went for another hour.
Yeah. We still had enough pictures and stories for sure, man.
Oh, my goodness, for sure.
No, for real.
So,
know him and
like he rubs shoulders with big wheels in NHRA and IHRA and wow.
Incredible. Oh, yeah, that's Angel back there,
Oh, George Bryce, blah, 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 blah.
Hanging out with Big Daddy and Shirley Modowney.
Man.
Goodness. That's just awesome.
We knew it would be great.
Yeah.
We had no doubt.
Absolutely.
Wow.
What a great time.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What an adventure he has been on since he's been a little kid with you in the driveway, with bikes.
Yeah. Wow. Sorted out. There you go. Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
Let's shout out at our partners one more time before we go to bed. Titans of 10.5, the fastest small tire series in the Midwest. CMB Chuck's Metal Buildings and Construction, Harry Street Carpet, Mobile Recon Mobile Detailing, Ozark Raceway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, and TNS Race Cars, and Sandland Iron and Metal Auto Salvage. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in 2026. We're doing a great job. We're going racing and podcasting and talking some cool stuff, telling great stories. And I got a fly in here that won't leave me alone.
I've seen that.
I got my zapper ready, but he just wouldn't.
Dang it.
Man, all right. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks, Gary. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Let's get the old smacker here. Okay. Where's that? There it is. You ready?
Yep.
Boom.
Nice show. Great job.
Oh, man. Mitch was great. 3 hours and 35 minutes. New show record.
Woo!
Oh, man.
Basically 2 shows in one night right there.
Yeah, man. There's Doug. Great show, guys. Doug, go to bed.
Thank you, Doug.
All right. Let's do it. I'm out. Rodney, thanks a lot. We'll see you later.